my son, Asante. How many of you ever heard of Asante? How many of you know Asante? Through the TV screen. Asante, Africa. I got one of the Moors, was one of my teachers, was one of his teachers. Come on up here, brother. Give a shout out to my brother right here. This brother right here is one of the teachers of my son. What's up? Islam? Islam! Yes, sir. When I saw the brother venture into the room after we had sat with Brother Sadet on his couch, I was like, that little dude look kind of familiar. Like, oh, Shanti, like, oh, Mr. Tunica Ill, like, what's up, you know? So, you know, I taught him spoken word poetry, and he did develop. He's a nice young man, very honorable, you know, common middle school hijinks, you know.
Brother Reggie, it's all yours.
Peace, family.
Peace.
I want to say was J.
Talking to Mike.
Life. Was J, which is life, power, and stability. I want to say Dua Neteru. That is Hail Neteru. That is giving high honors to the stuff that created us all. I want to say Hotep Dinosuk. That is an offering to the state. At one time in our world, we had a state called Kemet. It was a state. It ruled the world for over 5,000 years, or ruled Africa for over 5,000 years. I want to give thanks to my Sabaus. Those are my teachers. I have one of my teachers here, Professor James Small. Before I even continue this line, I have to ask him, do I have permission to speak? So we follow protocol in our world. And the Black movement, the African movement, has been a movement that has been pushed under largely because of religion. These people come from a continent of Africa, and everybody and everything has come to feast on our food.
That's right. That's right.
And it is easy to look eloquent and to speak eloquent, but to leave out the murder of your mothers and fathers. Who will speak for them? Yeah. This first round is about identity. We respect the prophet Noble Drawley, but we respect all of our prophets, not just one, but all of them, because many came before him and many came after them. We give high honors to people like Elijah Muhammad, who was the messenger of Allah, right? And Muhammad speaks, right? That's similar to, I guess, the Moorish guy. He was the messenger of Allah, right? And we give high honors to Malcolm X. We give high honors to the Prophet Khalid Abdul Muhammad, who said, before anything, I'm Black first. That's what he said. Now, the reason why we're here is because people who are articulate often put words in our teachers' mouths about what they were talking about. And they do it often when they're dead. But years ago, there was a lecture, the first big Moorish lecture between the General Sarah Sultan Seti and Ali Bey. And Brother Sharif and Neil Bey came up at the end. Maybe he didn't like what Ali Bey did when the general. Now, I have been in federal court. You can look me up. You said I lost. You said I lost. You're disrespectful. Because I'm going to tell you why you're disrespectful. Because most of our people that come up in front of the courts lose. For whatever reasons, but I fought. Have you been in federal court? Have you been in federal court? See, the fact of the matter is, see, that's love, peace, and friendship, Black power, right? So being in federal court, I know that this will come up. I'm just helping you out. You can hate me, but your prophet told you to love me. cases,
Love you.
That's all I want, because I love y'all too. We're just having a spirited debate, right? There's a long list of cases and examples that show that imposing any religious test is illegal in any state, city, or federal government. So I'm just trying to say, Brother Sharif, what you're saying is right. You just can't have a religious test.
Yeah, go back. That's right.
Now I go to this side. Who said that? No more. Once you go on that side, right, and you love, peace, and friendship. Didn't you see the Prophet say? So my plan is that we take over majority cities that we are, cities where we are majority populated, right? So that we can control in those cities the local laws. When you take over a city, and there are cities that have been taken over by Black people, Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta, they're all Black cities. They just don't have good direction. That's all. So you're not, where's security? Get the brother, come on. How long is this gonna take? So my plan is advertised, it's called the Black City. All right, family, can we keep the headwind down for a moment? Reggie, he's staying on point. Our people, now I'm gonna tell you about the religious text. So let me just move on. So my plan, you can look it up, it's called the Black City Sovereignty Plan. It's a pretty, so I'm on the 5-minute breaks now. You want to give me a warning before that? So, okay, so here's the problem. Is Black a legal status, and where did that come from? Here's a case in Virginia, 1670, that talked about what they talk about. They're not going to have any rights with Black, Negro, color, right? So but then you have Al-Mansur, right? Al-Mansur is a Moroccan, and he's dealing with the Queen of Elizabeth. In dealing with the Queen Elizabeth, Al-Mansur's plan was to help the Moors colonize America. Obviously, either did Al-Mansur fear English colonization, or was Elizabeth's planning to colonize North Africa. And then he says, this is what a Moroccan says to his European partner. And therefore it shall be needful for us to treat the people, therefore, whether it be your pleasure, it shall be inhabited by our armies or yours, or whether we shall take it on our charge to inhabit it with our army, with yours, without yours, and respect the great heat of climate, with those of the countries do not bind themselves. Fit to endure. Al-Mansur is making a deal with Queen Elizabeth, and this will involve the slave trade. It will begin the slave trade that got all of us in this mess. And it was from Morocco. So we don't trust religion. So then he kind of, how can I say, he continues to talk to her. In your highest state, you shall know that inhabiting those countries by us, and you shall have a great benefit. Right? So again, now over here, Al-Mansur is talking to her, and basically, she helps him. Oh, there's the Ottoman Empire. A few months later, he signed an agreement for military cooperation with Spain against the Archaeology Ottoman Power, having negotiated with Elizabeth for 2 decades. He had found that whenever he put her troops in, the promise it wasn't in the place that he wanted it to be in, et cetera, et cetera. So at the end of the day, she was forced to release some Moorish captives. And then releasing the Moorish captives, he did something for her. And Moorish background, ethnic origins, and an overview of their historical impact. This is from Dr. Jose B. Piamenta Bay. He is a PhD, and he is one of Ali's men, and he is a great speaker and an intelligent person who the world respects. He outlines basically what the Moorish Quran says. And basically simplifying it, right? He draws an outline from Canaan to Moabite, who are the Moors, who are Moroccans, which is the modern name for the Moabite, to Moorish Americans, along with phenotype of olive skin and the statement, we all have the same father and mother. I assert that the statement is wrong and untrue, and it's called the divisions. And I'm going to do it by science. He also says, this quote, I'm just putting it from his book, which you should buy his book, Othello's Child. Othello, okay, that's fine. Othello's children, Othello's a fictitious person, and so his children must be fictitious.
Go ahead, Reggie. Go ahead, Reggie. Go in, Reggie. No playing, Reggie.
Circle 7 Holy Quran outlines the inhabitants of Africa or the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. Let's do this all by science. But you're going to have to prove it with science. Right? Not with your rhetoric and not with your speeches and your memorized indoctrination.
Go ahead, Reggie.
The black people.
Go in, Reggie.
Science.
Talk to him, Reggie.
Africa. Canaan and Arabia. Canaan is not, and the Levant is not in Africa. There's the African mother continent. It broke off to the Sinai plate, to the Arabian plate. That's not Africa. There it goes. In this period, because you do science, right? In this particular period, the Cenozoic continental breakup produced several ribs, etc., etc., etc. The continental breakup occurred 65 million years ago. Humans were not on the planet. Just go fix that. Defining the admix, glossary of terms. This is from the glossary of genetic terms. Admixture arises when two previously isolated populations begin interbreeding. Uh-oh. I hope you know where I'm going. I hope you know where I'm going. I'm going. Let's just not go all the way back and try to decide everything in the world about evolution. Let's just talk about Homo heidelbergensis, a group of men that was in both Africa and went to Europe, right? Early archaic man. And when he was in Africa, he gave birth to the Homo sapiens. When he was in Europe, he gave birth to the Homo neanderthal. He also gave birth to this other archaic called the Denisovan, and then there's the hobbits. I hope y'all studied this. Oh, yeah. I hope y'all studied this. Okay, so here's a source right here. I translated it from Google Translate. Basically, the Homo heidelbergensis is 700,000 years ago. I translated it from German, so some of this stuff won't be. But that's okay because I have Chris Stringer. He's a European. I'm sorry. These are Europeans, and guess what? They're Moors. Right? Europeans are Moors. We're going to show you how this works. Matter of fact, Sharif said that the Caucasian is the amalgamated Moor. Wow. He said that, but he was right. And you asked me, why didn't I do anything or speak badly to the elder? First, we're trained not to do that. Second, he was correct. And he gave me what I wanted. These Europeans that I'm talking about, Chris Stringer, they're Moors. Heidelbergensis, Homo rhodesiana, that is what they call Heidelbergensis in Africa. There's my source. Look it up. Oldest human skull of Africa found in Canaan, 55,000 years ago. I thought I had a quote from Dr. Wesley Muhammad. Somehow that disappeared. But Dr. Wesley Muhammad and both Jose Piamento Bay talk about the Africoid, and in the Africoid, he says, yeah, many Eurocentric Western scholars treatments have attempted to de-Africanize the Moors and de-emphasize their connection to Africa. But after a critical interdisciplinary evaluation of Moorish identity, it is evident that the term Moor justifiably designates a phenotypical Africoid people or Persian with ancient links to both East Africa and near Asia. So we get into this Asiatic person. And that's Asia, that's there right there in the Sinai plate and Arabia. We're gonna get to that. Okay, so here we go. Behold the pale bull. The new and genetic sequencing. Start Googling. Just Google. Why do you bring your laptops and stuff? Oh, you don't need it because you're going to use a religious book on it. But I want to just say, original people of Africans have no Neanderthal DNA. Your people, ancient Africoid Canaanites, Moabites, Moors, and so-called Moorish culture have Neanderthal DNA. I'm also talking about your Native American peoples. I see you, Wichita Moors. You think that you just walked from Africa or Canaan without connecting to the Denisovans. No, you're admixed. So there's your whole Bible story, and this is the great admixture. And guess what? We have to ask some theological questions. Why would God be so religious? Admix their people and prophets with Neanderthals. Is your God or your prophet amalgamated or admixed is the one that you believe in actually a Neanderthal? See, science was trying to break this out, but you'll see something in Time magazine about God, Jesus, and the Neanderthals. I'm just doing it for you. Quranic records, we know that they're from Oz. We're not leaving them out. African scientists and thinkers now have to change their origin stories of the other phenotypical groups of human races that are mistakenly called races. Religion can't change the noble duality doctrine of origins is wrong. I don't care how much religion you're going to do. If you don't get up here with science, you lose. That's a fact. The Asiatic black man is not the maker, the owner, the creator of the planet, earth, God of the universe. I'm going to tell you right now. See, I love the nation of Islam because they gave themselves out. Because they were precious to the black man. Right? They love our people. They said this Asiatic black man sounds good, but this might be a sinking ship. So you need to change their religion. Just be black. Just like Khalid Muhammad said, before anything else, I'm black. He came from a school. I know that you have adept studies. You study esoterical. Let's bring some science today. The Yukul story dies today. The admixed Neanderthal and Homo sapiens, called by many names, Nephilim and now more, and his offspring of phenotypes is the culprit of the destruction of African civilization. The Diop man's theory today is revised because he couldn't deal with admixed, maybe because our great elder had a marital issue. He just couldn't deal with that. But it is revised today with modern genetics. And also, we didn't have the information. The Francis Cress Wilson theory of white origin of albinos must be shelved today. Okay, so let's get to the Americans. So here is the Y DNA haplogroup, right? And then you see over there how they originate and how they're labeled. They emerge first in Africa, then they emerge over there in Canaan and the rest of the place, and then they walk themselves later to Africa as the Berbers, the North African Mediterranean. They intermix, it's called admixing again, with the African population, and then you see the J1 Semitic, right? So we see this walk that DNA don't lie. You gotta have a DNA slide up there. So here we go with this slide of the different periods of how people became people with different skins and different races. I'm sorry, behold the pale Moor again. I just have to put out that Neanderthal range. Why am I doing this? Because the African on the continent is the human, the 100% Homo sapiens, the maker of us all. And we now, to justify European insanity, have been sent into an admixed hell, where we are all to be admixed. And all we want to do, Professor, is save these people right here, who were the first humans, who gave us humanity. That's what we want to save, Africa. And their people, because in 1,000 years, that will not be African. Little alien, I don't know what you call them, but these people 1,000 years ago, they'll be talking about their African ancestors with pride, but we have theologies that ruin African people. You better bring me a Moabite earlier than 6,500 years. I'm sorry, this Moabite looks like who I'm talking about. You better bring me a fossil find. I want to tell you something else about the Moabites. We know much about the Moabites that we could, but we do know their civilization ended in 582 when Moab became part of the Babylonian Empire. That's when the Moab civilization ended. So it's interesting. We also know that the people who took the land was the Nabateans. Shout out to Dr. Ali Muhammad. I know he's a little upset. I know he's working. They derived from the Prophet Muhammad, from his lineage. So our people in America are not Moroccans. We just sentenced to an admixed hell. They're the white haplogroups of the world. And you see how this is genetics and science. You can work that out. So there's some other things I want to say. The Israelites, because I heard the Moors and the Israelites are getting together, but the Israelites say that you all had an incestuous relationship. You don't have no problem with them, right? You have a problem with us. The African from Kemet recorded their occurrences with the Canaanites and the Asians, with the admixed. That's what they look like in the records on the temple walls coming into Africa. We have a full list of the contact. Can't do all of that today. And then we need to search. Where do we find Moab? Is Moab even mentioned? We know Canaan, and we know, pharaohs gave permission to the Moabites. Yeah, okay, fine. We go and we search to find Moab in our glyphs, and this is for y'all. Y'all can record it. Moab is right over here. Yeah, it was conquered. It's conquered by Africans. Here we have a city, Dibon, which is an important city. And there it goes here. Okay, it's there. I have to go and look for it. That's primary. You better show me some artifacts. Show me some artifacts when you talk. I'll believe you. Again, Moab, and here is Moab in Kemet material in Moab. They all look like people from Nile Valley. Oh, there's the Windy there. And here's this interesting piece I'm going to talk to. Oh, the Belo. He bought Abba. He doesn't talk about this. This is weird. This shows we're getting permission from the pharaohs. That's fine. Show it to me on Luxor Wall, on Karnak Wall, and I'll believe it. Otherwise, I believe that some great artists connected to the mystery schools wrote that. Here we have, over here is, I think, Canaan right here. So we know Kemet knows all about Kemet. Kemet knows all about Moab. Oh, you see this right here? This is in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. How many people went with me to the Metropolitan Museum of Art? And I showed you this right here. Well, guess what? This right here is Phoenician. They taught the Phoenicians how to write. They borrowed our material. This is our stone legacy. Oh, let's do Carthage. Crescent. It's coming from Kemet, Crescent. Right? See? Better show me some artifacts. Here's early Islam. Right? Here is basically a salat, and here is a crescent circle. This is important. This stone right here is because this is where the god Chemosh basically murders 1,000 Israelites. Since y'all want to build some unity, I mean, you can't, but it's there right there. Chieftain dragging before him Chemosh, and girls. I settled. What it says, and I took from there Yahweh dragging them before Chemosh, and the king of Israel had built Jahaz. He dwelt there while he was fighting against me. But Chemosh drove him out before me, except you can read that. There's Dibon that I talked about right here. What am I missing? So here's the Baals. Oh, this is more by goddess Asetat, Teres. This is a Canaanite goddess. Looks very similar to Kemet. Here's another Moabite goddess. Oh, looks like Heru. Oh, shoot. So then we have, we have to show some feathers. That would be right. That did not. How much minutes do I have? 3. Okay, great. So
It's over.
So I do want to say, okay, it's probably, okay. Okay. I wanted to make this point. Dr. Jose D. Piamenta Bay, very shrewd scholar. Is he here today? Is he here? Okay. He made his argument that, one of the Islamic groups was Moabites. He definitely attempted to do that. I just wanted to say that this article right here is argued in this paper, trying to see if they were the biblical descendants of Moab in the 12th century, the Amalekites, or called Moabites. And so this person took it upon himself, this scholar, because that's how you get a PhD, right? You argue a problem, right? And he basically found out, he looked at the genealogy, basically found out that they had no connection. You can read the paper. Now, the Africans who converted to Islam were not Moabites. So here, the African gives themselves, well, at least the problem is it's Arabs or Arabized people are telling the story, but they at least say the first of the kings who moved over it was these people, and these 14 kings all died before the coming of Islam. So we know that African people were around river valleys. So chapter 47 of the Holy Quran, the inhabitants of the African descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan, old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa. His father Ham, the descendants were second. Then came the word Ethiopia. And then my opponents must show that only Africans that are in the New World are descendants of Morocco and descendants of Moabites. They have to show that here again is the slave routes again. Conversations about Columbus. Columbus' diary says one thing, but his message to the queen says another thing. So two different things. He was excited when he was writing his diary, but when he got to the king, the Queen of England, when he got to Europe, then to Spain, he made another determination. He basically said they would look like Native Americans, not Muslim. I won't go into that. So I just want, I think basically I want to close with asking my opponents, just having an off-the-cuff conversation with y'all, just between us. Because we family. And I love my brother Sharif. It's not the point. And I love Prophet Muhammad. And I love all of our prophets. Elijah Muhammad, right? All of them, Matthew Whitworth, right? All of our prophets, we love them. That doesn't mean that they were right, but we love them because they did the best thing that they could at the time that they had with us. And we give honors, high honors to the Prophet Noble Drawley. We're just saying when the world is eating African food, it's wrong. I want to remind everybody here that as Moorish Americans, we believe that our prophet is a divine prophet.
That's right.
All right? I ain't gonna preach to it today. We believe he's a divine prophet. Right? We say that a prophet is what? A thought of God manifested in flesh. Now, the point I want to make with that really quick is this, and especially when we're talking about the inhabitants of Africa and the descendants of the inhabitants of Africa, which we're looking at right now, right? We talk about the condition of mental slavery, right? My opponent spoke throughout his entire demonstration. Are you all thirsty? Are you thirsty? I'm thirsty. Especially after having a brother take us all the way across the desert. Because there's a difference between race, phenotype, and nationality. What in the world is he saying more? As if it's a race. If you look up there, on the strategy. The first one, obfuscation, are called the Kansas City Shuffle. I fade left. I can talk. You can hear me, right?
Islam.
You know what the Kansas City Shuffle is?
Islam.
Fake left and go right.
Islam.
That's what the Kansas City Shuffle is. Fake left and go right. I respect all the information that he put up there about genetics and phenotype. I respect it. We heard it a few weeks ago with Brother Polite.
Islam. You hear it now?
I respect it. But what in the world has that got to do with what we call Key 14?
Come on, Mo.
Why are we Moorish Americans? Because we're descendants of Moroccans and born in America. Let's go back. What is your nationality? Stop. We don't even need to answer. Let's talk about the question. See, Reggie's whole first demonstration demonstrated clearly that he does not know enough about the topics to effectively debate them. How are you talking about race when he himself said identity is the issue? I agree. No identity, no purpose. Identity and purpose go hand in hand. Shout out to our brother in the corner who told me that. We'll get back to him later. But then he starts talking about something that has nothing to do with the topic, which is identity, and specifically, are we Moorish Americans or not? That is a nationality, it's not a race. Know the difference. Show of hands, real quick. Show of hands. How many? Okay, show of hands. I like the silence. Everybody's on the edge of their seat. Are there what you may call Black Puerto Ricans? Oh, nobody wants to raise their hand. Okay, now, how many of you, I think y'all see where I'm going, don't you? How many of you have ever said, wow, that sister was beautiful, she was mixed Puerto Rican and Black?
Come on, Mo.
See, we don't even have to address the scholarship half the time. All we gotta do is address the psychology.
That's right. That's right, Mo.
If we, how many of you got children? Show your hands. I'm not calling Reggie my child. How many of you got children? How many times have they asked you a particular question and you can see the intent behind the words? And then you respond to the intent and they think you're a psychic. Asymmetrical warfare, meaning what? I really don't have a position particularly. And in particular, claiming to represent Nile Valley in numerous videos, but abandoning Nile Valley community in this debate. I'm sorry, I gotta tell it. We negotiated or renegotiated and renegotiated the terms of the debate at least 3 times. The last time we did, he took Nile Valley off the table. He says, I don't want to have to defend a connection between Nile Valley and our people here in America. It's okay. It's okay. Because we're going to show it.
That's right. Right. Bring it out, boy.
Let the ambiguous.
Come on.
I don't even go through all the rest of it. I mean, you see the other one, overly dramatic. The ad hominem demonstration, shout out to my Hebrew Israelite brothers. We are joined at the hip. Believe it or not, can we fight? And we fight, but we brothers, and we know that. We know that. Let's move. What we're going to prove today, are we Moorish Americans? A lot of what I have to say about Reggie's first presentation, I got to do in the rebuttal. Like, I took like 2 pages of notes. We're dealing with a lot of that in the rebuttal, but a lot of it will be dealt with in my presentation. This is what we're going to prove today to you all. Black or African American is not a proper identifier for men and women in society. In your living room or in your shower, sure. The color code system of race is pseudo and has no basis in science, as it was invented by Europeans for the purpose of white supremacy.
Come on, bro. Here we go.
Black, according to science, does
Mean that.
mean death. How many of you are scared to die for your liberation? How many? How many of you believe? Hold on, the brother said we were wrong about the origins of our people. And my elder sitting right there, my assistant grand sheikess, Sister S. Hopkins Bay, must have been, I'm telling you, all thoughts are one, because we looked at each other and had the exact same thought. What is the before I go there, dealing with thought. If we are to be who we say we are and shake off the shackles of mental slavery, we got to stop thinking like the European.
That's right. That's right.
Fact number one about that. The European told you that science and religion don't go together.
Islam.
Truth is but one. If you believe, and this is with all due respect to my elders as well, but if you believe that one has to be wrong for the other to be right, then maybe you don't know either one.
Islam.
What is the first sentence in our religious text in the Moorish Science Symbol of America regarding our origins?
Know thyself.
Time, okay, yes, sir. First sentence. Time never was. When man was.
Come on.
We always been. You know if that, or we had a beginning.
Islam.
Man is not the body of the soul.
It's the true Lord. Come on, Mo. Come on, Mo. Out.
Let's go.
Hey, Mo, listen.
The true ancient connection comes only through the Moors. Let me speed through this. I got a lot of stuff today.
Take it out, Mo.
The transatlantic slave trade, The transatlantic slave trade was specifically targeted Moors. The Moorish identity is ours and was our very last self-identity before slavery. The Moors in antiquity were recognized in ancient Kemet. Islam, just like Moorish identity, is another stolen legacy.
Yes, sir.
How many of you are familiar with Dr. Ben? Let's give him a round of applause. That's one of our brothers. That's one of our brothers' teachers, right? On numerous videos, he claimed Dr. Ben as one of his teachers. How many of you are familiar with our brother Chancellor Williams?
Islam.
Give him a How many of you are familiar with Dr. John Henry Clark?
Islam.
These are three of our good brother Reggie's teachers, mentors, references. We're going to use those three primarily to prove these points.
Uh-oh.
Round two. It's a Black City Sovereignty Plan better for our people than overdraw these plan. Notice it says the bottom and gift for Reggie. We're going to put wheels on this Black City Sovereignty Plan and make it roll. What it is, Bob?
Islam.
Let's go. The brother talked about the scientific method, right? All right, this is science. What type of science? Sociology. How many of you are familiar with Federal Directive 15? How many of you are familiar with the basic rules of the English language and usage?
Islam.
How many of you got screamed at by your teacher when they asked you to define a word and you used the word that you were defining in your definition? Let's go. Office of Management and Budget Directive number 15, race and ethnic standards for federal statistics and administrative reporting. Black. Come on. Mind you, this is what shapes society that you live in. This is Black. A person having origins in any of the Black racial groups of Africa. Is that a definition or a non-definition? Thank you. White. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, North Africa, or the Middle East. Show of hands. How many of you believe, as our brother Reggie, that race, as you know it in society, is genetic? Don't be scared. Put your hand up if you believe it. Let's go. Thank you, brother. I'm going to ask the question again. How many of you believe that the concept of race as understood in practice in this society is based on genetics? Let's go. This was the American Anthropological Association's response to Federal Directive 15. It said Federal Directive 15 in itself noted the absence of scientific or anthropological foundations in its formulation. In other words, it admits it's not scientific. The racial and ethnic categories set forth in the standards should not be interpreted as being primarily biological or genetic in reference. What did that do to his entire administration?
Let's go. Bring it out, Mo.
Knowing the history of these groups, of how these groups became white, we're talking about, oh, how does that happen? How does that happen? How did the Italians become white and the Irish become white?
Come on, Mo.
I thought y'all said it was genetic.
That's right.
It's an integral part of how race and ethnicity are conceptualized in contemporary America. The aggregated category of white begs scrutiny. The American system of categorizing groups of people on the basis of race and ethnicity developed initially by a then dominant white European descendant population and served as a means to distinguish and control over non-white populations in various ways. That's what you're working with today. This is the scientific analysis. Where's Brother Reggie?
The science, Mo.
This is the scientific analysis. The American Anthropological Association in 1997 stated that during the past 50 years, race has been scientifically proven to not be a real natural phenomenon. More specific, social categories such as ethnicity and ethnic group are more salient for scientific purposes and have fewer of the negative racist connotations for which the concept of race was developed. Do you understand what that means?
Islam.
Nah, I'm going to make it real simple in a second. We'll make it simple in a second. Read this. Such an interpretation, while perhaps statistically robust, is structurally and substantively incomplete because it is not the individual's association with a particular racial or ethnic group that predicts the various outcomes, but the attribution of that relationship by others that underlies these outcomes. For instance, a person is not more likely to be denied a mortgage because he or she is black, but because another person believes he or she is black and ascribes particular behaviors with that racial or ethnic category. Meaning, if you can call yourself what you want, that's your prerogative. But permission doesn't mean power. I can call myself a cab right now. Am I a cab? No, sir. Racism. Defined as the social system that provides the manifestation of the construct of racial superiority and inferiority in all areas of society. What that means, people, very simple. If you subscribe to that system, you support it. You stop right there. The color code system of racism was designed by Europeans specifically to facilitate the very thing you cried about.
There it is. There it is.
You subscribe to the system you support it. If you advocate for that system, Brother Reggie, if you advocate for it, you work in support of the success of that system. That's just that simple. We don't know what false flag it is. You come from the street, I come from the street. We know what false flag it is, don't we?
Yeah.
You know what happens to it, too.
Yes, sir.
You know what that means, real simple? Under somebody else's system. Who saw the wins? Our brother Michael Jack, remember the song he sung? You can't win. You can't win? You can't get even? And you can't get out the game. As long as you're playing the color code game, there is a permanent social upper class. It's called what? Say it.
That's right.
There's a permanent underclass. It's called what?
Black.
That's what it's called. I'm sorry. We don't know it.
Islam.
So if you call yourself white,
Bring it out, Mo.
you are a white supremacist.
That's right.
If you call yourself black in this society, you are a white supremacist. Let's go.
Islam.
Now we about to find out Reggie's bosses, his handlers.
Come on, Mo. Come on.
Who knows that guy is?
Okay.
Blumenbach, yes, sir.
That's the race man.
German anthropology is one of the first important studies of mankind. Y'all see it. I ain't got to read it all. We got a lot. We got a lot. Strap up and tighten the shin straps. Let's go with that.
It's that.
1779, interesting date, right?
Yes, sir.
And let's come with these five racial constructs. Blumenbach propagated the degenerative hypothesis of racial origins, that the original humans were Caucasian or white, and that all the other races developed as a result of environmentally induced degeneration. Now, listen to this guy. How many of you guys know about this guy? Well, this guy was a special kind of European. Arthur de Gobineau. He is considered the father of modern racial demography. In other words, the very thing that many of us erroneously, a lot of times we just don't know. The very thing that we erroneously are supporting, he's the father of it. Credited for developing the Aryan master race theory in the book Essay on the Inequality of Human Races. He said a whole thing, but I want to go down to the last one. Believed European civilization represented the most successful progression of ancient civilization and held those superior attributes capable for continued survival. He thought this corresponded to the ancient Indo-European culture area, which included Celts, Slavs, and Germans. Look at that. His ideology was equally adopted by who? Nazis. Let's go. The color code caste system of race, according to science, is a myth. It's a lie. But hold on. This is when a lie creates reality. It's lie. It takes people to believe in the lie to create a reality. That's right. The investment of the public in that system creates the reality of racism or white supremacy. The preaching in support of that system by its agents ensures its survival and also protects the privileged position. Predetermined social qualities are attached to the racial. I want you to pay close attention to this.
Take your time.
Predetermined social qualities are attached to the racial classifications, which automatically label the individual carrying the racial designation. If I got a red rag hanging on my pocket, you guys know what time it is. That which is understood need not be explained. You know what comes with it. Okay. Okay. I.e., what is that? Always the, okay, yeah. In society, a good black person is always the what? The exception. In this society, a bad white person is always what? He's the exception. The color code system of race is invisible to the, pay attention to this. The color code system of race is invisible to the privileged position. In other words, it's invisible to so-called white people. Why? Because the privileged position is considered the norm. That's right. And everybody else is considered other than normal. That's why they say, well, when I see you, I don't see color.
Islam.
Last one, it represents a position of power where the power holder defines the categories. This one is going to hurt people strapped in. Whiteness defines blackness. It's all the same system, and they invented it.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk.
Afrocentrism, and mind you, hold on, before we go any further, we honor our elders.
Yes, sir. Islam.
All of them.
Islam.
Whether you agree with them or not, if they weren't here, you wouldn't be here. If they didn't put that coat in, we wouldn't be here. This is in no way a slight on those that went before. This is us doing our best and me doing my best to tell the truth.
Islam.
Afrocentrism is a cultural ideology and worldview largely limited to the United States as a what? Response to global Eurocentric Orientalist attitudes about African people and their historic contributions. It is a reactive and therapeutic mechanism to whiteness. Where's side of that? I'm right here. Yes, sir. Well, remember when I was on your couch? I know you're not, bro. Remember when I was on your couch and we started the interview? And our brother Sinetta said, he said, yeah, well, they call themselves white, so we call ourselves black. I said, brother, I'm so glad you said that, because that proves my point conclusively. It's reactionary.
Yes, sir.
Meaning it's a rear guard action. I gotta wait for that dude to say something so I can say I'm the opposite. A reactive and therapeutic mechanism to whiteness, that because it utilizes the racial categorizations invented by the power brokers of the color code system of race. It exists and operates within the scope of whiteness. It seeks to redefine or redefinition of the permanent categories of the color code system. Yet because it operates within that same system, it is defined by the system and will always lack the power needed to self-define or redefine. Wow. This ideology colors and taints not only Brother Reggie's scholarship, but many of our scholars. Remember I said, it's important to look at the scholarship, but it's even deeper to look at the psychology that produces it. Another one of his bosses.
Islam.
Charles Seligman, responsible for the mainstreaming of the Hamitic hypothesis. How many have heard of the Hamitic hypothesis? Real simply put, when Europeans went into North Africa, the very place that Federal Directive 15 says are Caucasians, you figured that one out. When they went into North Africa and saw the greatness of our people in North Africa, they said, these Negroes couldn't have possibly done that. They couldn't have possibly done that. We have to come up with something. We have to come up with something that explains it in a way that benefits us and benefits the age of discovery, or the discovery, the doctrine of discovery. We'll talk about that later too. Forwarded in the mid-19th century by European writers in support of colonialism and imperialism to solve the problem, being forced to admit high civilization in ancient times achieved by Negro people. The hypothesis basically labels Hamites and North Africans as dark-skinned whites, pastoral Europeans, or Euro-Africans. Separate and distinct from Negroes and Bushmen. Current research totally debunks this hypothesis. However, it remains the basis of the present ethno-racial designation of North Africans as white in America. How many of you know some of our brothers from the African continent? How many of them identify with the word black?
Islam.
How many of them, if you ask them, tell you when they came through immigration and naturalization, they were told that they were what? White.
Islam.
But I thought some of y'all believed that it had to do with genetics. So what does that mean? There's a whole bunch of people that are super dark, with frizzy hair, but they're white in America.
Islam.
The Moors didn't say that.
That's right.
The Europeans. Just want to point that out. It is the origin of the myth. Hold on, what's written? It's the origin of the myth of the term Asiatic, denoting a racially mixed of pale people from the north, and limits our people to sub-Saharan African descent only. The foundation of the myth that Arabia and its people are separate from Africa and its people. This is the foundation for that fallacy. This is
Islam.
like Arabia is distinct or separate from Africa because of an artificial ditch, as our brother Wesley Muhammad called it. Y'all know who this guy is? Actually, I admire this European right here. I admire this one. Leonard Herskovitz, American anthropologist whose work firmly established African and African American studies in American academia.
Come on.
Founded the first interdisciplinary American program in African studies for Northwestern University. You guys see it. All right, now let's talk about this. Let's go. Science, the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. So when we say black, according to science, means death, everybody asks this question, what science? I was here in this very same room 3 years ago for an lecture with brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad. I explained it in exquisite detail, yet everybody still wants to keep asking the same questions. Hopefully we lay it to rest right now. First, let's analyze the wording. It says black according to science means death, doesn't say is death. Now, of course, some people are going to be like, oh, you're playing semantics. Okay, follow me. Just indulge me. Means to have as its sense of signification, to signify. Synonyms denote, indicate, import, imply, or connote. Like red means what? Yellow means caution. Green means gold. It doesn't say is death, it says it means death. Let's go. Sociology. That is the science that we just went through. That's the science. Come on, Sharif. The study of the development, structure, and functioning of human society. The biggest things we cry and complain about today, and rightfully so, is a substandard quality of life. How in the world do we not know this science right here? Our prophet gave it to us, though, in 1913.
That's right. Islam,
For what? I don't care if you call it religion, science. I don't care what you call it. All right. Running, warmth, love, anger, danger. You guys see it. We all do things. That's sociology. What's the significance, though? Here's the significance. Our prophet taught us, according to all true and divine records, there is no Negro, black, and colored people in the human family. They don't exist. Why? Because of context. We don't have a problem with the word black at all. At all. I'm going to quote Dr. John Henry Clark on that. He said, we don't have a problem with the word black. No problem at all. It just doesn't tell you who you are. That's what he said. In other words, context. No civilized people on the planet other than us call ourselves or try to identify ourselves with an adjective.
Oh, come on, right now.
None.
Teach.
Cornelia Singer, Near Eastern historian, expert on the history and archaeology of Bronze Age Egypt. You see her credentials. She wrote this. Color in ancient Egypt. Yeah, it's quiet in here. I love it. Black ancient Egypt was created from carbon compounds such as soot, ground charcoal, or burnt animal bones. Black was the symbol of death and of the night. Osiris, the sovereign of the afterlife, was called the Black One, alluding not only to his role in the underworld, but also to his resurrection after he was murdered. We don't say, we say black coincides means death, but we also say there's a holy ministry.
That's right.
See, you go to factory learn it. Come to the meeting.
That's right. Go to right.
Come to the meeting. Sit down and learn.
That's right.
I'm talking about what you don't know.
That's right.
One of the that's right.
Come on, sisters. Come on.
Talking to sisters right here. We got to rap for you. One of the real life women to be deified. One of the real life women to be deified. Queen Ahmose Nefertari was the patroness of the necropolis, and she was usually portrayed with black skin. The black images of the queen embody the concept of regeneration as the fertile ancestress of the royal line, the 18th dynasty. Anubis, the god of embalming, was shown as a black jackal or dog, even though real jackals' dogs to the ground. Here we go. As black symbolized death, it was also a natural symbol of the underworld and resurrection. Unexpectedly, perhaps, it could also be a symbol of fertility and even life. We say that.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And upon these blind substances, Allah breathed.
Come on, Mo.
As you breathe on the chaos of the deep when the worlds are formed, and life springs forth from death.
Come on, Mo.
The total form is changed to form of fire. That's religion. It's on society.
Islam. Islam.
All right.
You better work. You better work.
Association with life and fertility is likely due to the abundance provided by the dark black silt of the annually flooding Nile. We keep on. On the other hand, black is associated with chaos and enemies. So the men to the south of Egypt, Nubians, were depicted with black skin. Nevertheless, the rest of the foreigners, as the people to the north and west of Egypt, were depicted by yellow skin, symbol of caution and danger. I didn't say it. I didn't make it up. A licensed Egyptologist.
Islam.
Are you serious?
You working, Mo.
Take your time.
Take your time, brother.
That plate.
Law. I'm gonna skip it. We got two more items. Oh my God. We got law. We got
Bring it out.
Give him something, Mo. Give him something.
15 minutes.
Islam. That's right. Islam.
Okay, Homo spoke with the polite when he was in Egypt. I ain't got to show it. Black, according to science, it's not an identifier of people. It's not a nationality or national identity. It's not recognized by any civilized community in the world. It's a badge or label of social, economic, and political servitude. It separates people so labeled from society at large and thus expect the same. Ain't that describing our condition today? But notice I use the word describe because that's what black is. It's an adjective. It describes. It doesn't identify. Describes the condition of our people. Describes a stage in the process of purification, salvation, and evolution.
Come on, Mo.
So we gonna come about it. What we gonna come about it? Describes a stage within the grand cycle of life itself, and describes a stage in the regeneration and rebirth of a nation. That's what it does. Black can't identify, it can only describe. Let's go.
Come on.
Dr. John Henry. play a video. You would have to do it from there. Brothers, don't worry. No. Everybody's seen the video, I'm sure, right? Dr. John Henry Clark? Play it again? See if we can get it up there.
Come on, Mo.
See if we can get it up there.
You better work, Mo.
You don't know, I got like 65 slides for you all. We're not going to get through them all.
It's long.
Listen, right? No. Go under. Put the mouse. Put the mouse under screen. Put the mouse under the screen. Right under the video. Go up. Right there. Go, right there.
Stop the time, Mo.
Dr. Ben, the one point I want to bring up rightfully rejects the notion of white Semitic North Africa in antiquity, but wrongfully equates Semites with Europeans and Caucasians. Why? We already discussed how that happened, because he's using the same definitions from the imperialist Europeans.
Wow.
Afro-Semitic presence in the Nile Valley is now, of course, indisputable. Shout out to Dana Marnichi. Shout out to Professor Rudolph T. Ware. You're going to see they work in the same. Arab defined people, a member of the Semitic people of the Arabian Peninsula, a member of an Arabic-speaking people. Semitic defined, relating to or denoting a family of languages that include Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, as well as ancient languages such as Phoenician and Akkadian, constituting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family. Whoa. Those are original Arabians. So when we say the key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations, in other words, why in the world would we put so much time and energy to attribute something to a usurper of your culture? To a usurper of your culture. That is the original Arabian versus the Arabized Arabian. Original.
Come on, Mo.
Arabized. Let's go. The brother said that Dr. Ben was his teacher. Cultural genocide with Black and African studies curriculum. I didn't say he did. Certainly the African American children's hero that led their African ancestors, who into Iberia, was none other than the illustrious General Sharif. Dr. say right there. He says that your ancestors were Moors. I didn't say it. Dr. Ben said.
That's right.
In the need for a Black Bible. 1506 CE with Reverend, later on the Bishop Bartholomew de las Casas and Pope Julius II of the Roman Catholic Church. The latter two initiated the infamous slave trade of Africans called what? From Spain. Africans called what? From Spain to the island of Hispaniola, today Santo Domingo and Haiti, following the loss of their power over the Iberian Peninsula in 1485. Dr. Ben says the ancestors of the African American Moors. Dr. Ben said. The original Berbers and Moors are Black Africans who spread from East Africa to Libya to Northwest Africa in the prehistoric ages. These people were the founders of various cultures with relics, litter caves in the Sahara Desert. They have continuously occupied, they have continuously occupied the Central Sahara for more than what? Dr. Ben said that. What was this about Northern antiquity?
That's right.
All right. African Moors' extensive knowledge of ancient Egypt was due to their constant cultural exchange with their indigenous African brothers of what?
Egypt.
Through their caliphates. Our brother George James. Now, our brother Reggie honors brother George James. Brother George James, I don't think I'm going to get to Islam. Brother George James in his book Stolen Legacy does not say that Moors plagiarized Kemet. He says that the Moors are the Kemetic people. only one occasion when there were exoduses due to the conquering of ancient Egypt. They sojourned into Arabia, Asia Minor, and North Africa. They are the ancient Kemetic people. So there is a direct connection between our people in America and the people of ancient Kemet. If you look at that.
Islam.
Dr. Chancellor Williams. Just one reading, I'll read it. Third paragraph down. Now again, just who were the Moors? The answer is very easy. The original Moors, like the original Egyptians, were black Africans. What did that do to his whole presentation about mixed breeds? As amalgamation became more and more widespread over the only the Berbers, Arabs, and colors. And colors in the Moroccan territories were called Moors. That came later. While the darkest and blackest Africans were called blackamoors. Eventually, black was dropped from blackamoor. In North Africa and Morocco in particular, all Muslim and Arabs, mixed breeds, and Berbers are readily regarded as Moors. Pay attention to this last sentence. The African blacks. Now, mind you, before I even go any further, don't think that we as Moorish Americans are so arrogant that we cannot identify with the black experience.
That's right.
We do. It's one of the same.
Yes, sir.
I just want to let that be known. The African blacks, having had even this name taken from them, must contend for recognition as Moors. Dana Reynolds, Manichi. These are some of her works. Just look at the titles. Addendum to the African Heritage and Ethno-History of the Moors, the Golden Age of the Moor. Theory Blackness, recovering from the hidden ethnogenesis of early African and Afro-Asiatic peoples, comprising the Moors of North Africa and Spain. There's a lot. The African Heritage and Ethno-History of the Moors. Let's go. Oh my goodness, we're not going to be able to get through all of this. Suffice it to be said,
You got 5 minutes.
Dr. Dana Manichi, and also too, Professor Rudolph T. Ware, both affirm that the original Moors were dark-skinned, or what we would say dark-eyed, complected people, and are our direct ancestors. They, as our elders would love us to do, as I want my children to do. I want them to stand on my shoulders and correct my faults. That's how they give me honor.
Islam.
That's how they give me honor. That's right. There is no way in the world I'm going to get through everything else but that. I got 5 minutes after that. Grace period. Let's go. Let's move that. Dr. Ben, Africans were involved in Islam's creation. We're talking about the African origins of Islam. Dr. Ben said Africans were involved in Islam's creation, as its modern administrators attempt to eliminate its indigenous African founders from the eyes of the faithful and the world in general. In other words, they co-opted it, like they co-opted hip-hop, like they co-opted rock and roll. They co-opted Islam too. We look real crazy, sorry to say, we look real crazy, looking at another man with our coat on and saying it's not our coat.
Islam.
Since the Afrocentrists have fought so long to protect the African contribution to the civilization of Egypt, why not protect the total contribution or total cultural contribution that Africa has made to Arabia? That's ours too.
That's right.
In the morning of the world, when the fingers of love swept aside the curtains of time, our dusky mother Ethiopia held the stage. It was she who wooed civilization and gave birth to nations. Her spirit called to Arabia, and out of the mystic desert surged the black soldiers of Islam who welded the world into a new empire and saved love and victory in the veils of that.
Yes, sir.
Judaism and Islam. Judaism and Islam both had indigenous Africans in the leadership roles from the first day of their recorded origin. In Kush, Islam had Muhammad, whose grandfather was African origin, and his close advisor and co-founder of Islam, an African from Ethiopia. Islam's foundation is so intensely African in structure Islam, with her God, Allah, cannot escape its indigenous African origin. It was the Africans and others of African ancestry who were most instrumental in Islam's creation. Brother, did you really study with Dr. Ben?
Islam! Bring it out, folks! You gotta bring it out!
Julian Baldwin, you might want to get this book. We have already seen how central aspects of Islam, such as pilgrimage, circumcision, and sacrifice. Whoops, sorry. Oh man, see, look what I got for you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are essentially Afro-Asiatic. What we must consider here is the Afro-Asiatic bipolarity of the religion itself. What Julian Baldwin is saying basically is that the bipolarity in the theology is purely African. In other words, you have to dig deep. When you look at the principles of the thing, you can see the signature of your forefather. How much more time I got? 2 minutes?
Teach him, Mo.
The murder of the third, Muhammad's grandson Hussein, is commemorated on the 10th day of the first month of the year with self-flagellation. This is all pre-Islamic. Oh, no, stop that. Pre-Muhammad.
That's right. That's right.
With self-flagellation and self-incision resembling what was done in the ancient Middle East for Attis and Osiris. Check out to Dia. Oh, man.
Come on.
Next. You already know. The ancient Moors were the recipients and custodians of the ancient authentic tradition that was and is the mysteries of Egypt, and became so from a number of avenues much later. During the Persian, Greek, and Roman invasions of Egypt, large numbers of Egyptians sojourned to Arabia, Asia Minor, and North Africa, where the teachings of their mysteries greatly enhanced the already present ancient Egyptian teaching of the descendants of the ancient Moabites in Mauritania or North Africa. The Moors of the 8th century, as the neighbors of and safe haven for the Egyptians, were also in fact the custodians and the ambassadors of African culture that the known world at the time looked to for enlightenment. Further, the Moors established caliphates in Baghdad, Cordoba, and Cairo, thus maintaining a constant contact with Egypt, Europe, and Asia Minor simultaneously. What that meant at that time was that they controlled the known civilized world. Man, we'll deal with this part during the rebuttal. This is where it gets nice.
Peace.
I think the question, you can if they look, you state what was the question in it. No, of this round that we just
All right, you can pause it real quick. All right, he just wanted clarification on the theme or the subject matter of round one. So the theme and subject matter of round one is, are we Moorish Americans or are we, quote unquote, Black African Americans? That's the question.
That's right, Reggie. Don't let him get away, baby. Don't let him get away, Reggie.
I love you, bro.
So that was a nice presentation. It was a very nice presentation. But I think if you rewind and you watch it, he never answered the question.
Yes, he did.
Are we Moorish Americans or are we not? To answer that question, would have to deal with race, it would have to deal with anthropology, archaeology, paleontology, sociology.
Go in.
It would have to deal with science.
Go ahead, Reggie.
So
Telling you, man.
I told you about those European Moors. He used them to death.
Woo!
I don't see that he used anybody that looked like them. I ain't see no feathers.
Go ahead, Reggie.
Actually, he's so slick, he didn't even go back to his prophet's definition of who a Moorish American is.
Tell him, remind him.
So technically, he loses.
He did.
He didn't walk with Canaanites. He didn't do that. But let me just tell you what's really accurate. Because Noble Drew, the prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace be upon him, he's not speaking. His students are speaking for him. Was any of this stuff being mentioned in the Circle 7 Quran?
Yes.
Did they quote the Circle? No. Yes, he did. Or David? No.
Yes, sir. Get you one.
So let's You know, because they're using a lot of new wisdom to make things happen. So that's called like activism. But we're going to get to that. But you click that thing, yo.
You got it in your...
No, not you. Of course not. That's not how you standing here. That's not me.
Get more away from that. We already got you in the show. You better get that more away from that.
We don't want to use the same words and have a different understanding for the same words, right? Because then we just on the surface look like we're saying the same thing, but we don't really mean the same thing. So, yes, sir. So, yes, sir.
What's the problem?
Make your understanding understood. I'm speaking again as a member of these words. As a member of these inner orders, in the lodge, we know just by looking at the altar what you refold up on, right? We know in one of the orders that I used to belong to, make your understanding understood. I'm Noah New Ali. You heard? I'm Noah New Ali. Oh! You have seen at least 5 different camps. 5 different personalities. Come to talk to me.
And if you want to say, and if you say you don't deal with the Moorish Temple of America, if you don't deal with the Moorish Temple of America, that's where we flawed, because that's where we're not building on what the prophet brought.
In one of the orders that I used to belong to. You see, so there's definitely a measure of disorganization in every organization. You want to point it out, that's fine. It ain't gonna save your equal test. Now, that's for one. Moorish, we're not Moorish. So let us say you're not a Moor, but it ain't right. We're Moors. We're Moors, baby. That's who you are. First of all, ancient Moors go way back. Second of all, you got to M in your head. Pattern is cowardly. So what do? You learn the pattern, then you immerse yourself in the pattern, and you emulate the pattern, and now you are Hebrew. You are Jesus. You are.
That's right.
So, yes, so, security agencies, state security agencies, just law enforcement, we also do military stuff. So, you now, you also think that young students move people back. I'm speaking again. As a member of these awards, make your understanding understood, especially when we do with Reggie's Black City Sovereignty Plan nonsense, right? Let me not call it nonsense, because actually we're going to do Reggie a favor. We're going to actually show him how it would really work.
That's all you got.
Watch the wing.
I'm speaking again. As a member, we don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. Black is a status. It's a social status. Right. What does that social status afford you? I don't got to answer that. We already know. Look at our condition.
That's right.
The movement is not dedicated to get black behind out of jail. It's not what it's dedicated to.
That's right.
The movement is not dedicated to developing get out of jail free cards.
That's right.
The movement is not dedicated to being anti-government or separate.
That's right.
That's not what it is dedicated.
Islam.
No, it's not.
Islam.
I'm speaking again as a member of these awards. We don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. Look at People's Day, you know, a community is based on when a community operates on the principle of love. And love is not something that's emotional. Only a black container. That's us. Make your understanding understood.
Right, you confused.
So, back to the rebuttal. So,
now what that means?
It's a lot. Let's go. So, I know it's my debate. It's certainly my debate, but I do have my elders here, Dr. Jeffries and Brother Smalton. They are listening because You had every opportunity to speak to Dr. Ben about these things and put it on record. You did not. You used nice words, but I didn't see anybody with a fez that you alluded to when you had your conversation. So it seems that you used Europeans to do your dirty work. How does that help our people or not? It is apparent by the things that you say that you use other information from other places to substantiate what you believe in, and it's not clear is if you really even believe in the prophetic, because you, and in the second round, I'm going to prove that how much you're moving away with. Then you don't. What did you prove? You didn't show any artifacts. Well, no, you know what it is? You didn't think that you have to prove with primary sources. All you just need is a white spokesman to do your dirty work. That's why we're here today. That's why we're here today, right? I understand that what you have is a religion, and I respect your religion, but you can't make that fact. Then you said something like, you know, race has nothing to do with science. Isn't it interesting that they have race-specific medicine? Isn't it specific that they have Planned Parenthood and various, what do you call it, the Tuskegee experiment? Isn't that race-specific? Isn't that science?
That's experiment. That's experiment.
Isn't this science? So when we're going down this path, we're on record. We're simply on record. All of us is on record about the things that we say and we don't say. And I see, and this has nothing to do with the prophet working through me. And you're not going to win over our people, right? When you are weeping and giving up your nationality in 5 quick seconds to a foreigner, as if you're on remote control. I don't care. And then when you speak about, you talk about government, but it's interesting how often in the real world you lose your fez. Amongst black people, you look beautiful, you look divine, you look incredible. But that wink, right? And not giving up your status and your nationality. So if you want to convince our people to leave blackness, and leave it to what specifically? What did you offer us with quoting all of these white Europeans? What did you offer us in your definitions? Because the fact of the matter is, it's all English, it was all European. Again, none of them had feathers on it. It didn't come from your adapts, your depths. It did not come from your great places. I know it came from a great spokesperson who's a great scholar, but this is European information used against us, not even wanting to search for primary facts. So make your understanding understood, and all of this secret orders and stuff like that. Our people are dying because of these secret orders, because plans have been made in Europe for our demise, and it seems, and we'll talk about it as we go along, that people like you have been involved in that. I'm talking about the African who has lost his mind. So the concept of black, all black does is connect us culturally to Africa. Why do you want to interrupt me? Why do you want to interrupt me? Where's your civil? Where's your peace, love, and friendship, right?
Talk to him, Reggie.
You know what? It's doing jihad. See, that's jihad. That's jihad, right? Because you don't want to talk. And all of that, you don't want to talk about the crimes of Morocco, the crimes of Arabs. We're going to talk about that the next
Talk to him,
the next part. All right? And peace, love, and friendship. By respecting me, you respect our people. I have not disrespected you.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause for Brother Reggie. Brother Sharif, where you at? 10 minutes. People are hungry. They want to eat. They want to stretch. 10 minutes, brother. All right, 10 minutes. Here you go.
You timing me? I won't need it.
That's right. That's right.
I'm good.
It only take a
We don't
minute.
need the PowerPoint.
It only take a minute, Mo.
How many European or so-called white people did he reference in his first one?
All.
Let's go.
All of them. Bring it out.
Second question. Let's just say, I didn't know that Dr. Chancellor Williams, Dr. Ben, Dr. Sheikhat Diop, Dana Marnichi, so-called white.
That's right. Islam.
All right. The video was entertaining. Let's give him a hand. That was entertaining. That was entertaining. But the feds don't make me emotional.
That's right.
The feds don't make me emotional.
That's right.
But it is what we call, you know what's called in sociology, or what's called in sociology, it is a cultural hereditary. Look it up, Reggie. It's called a cultural hereditary, meaning it's mine.
It's mine.
It's not Turkish. It's mine.
It's mine.
It's yours too.
It's mine.
And it's peculiarly and specifically yours.
That's right.
Now, this whole thing about secret orders, everybody needs a secret.
Islam.
I'm talking about them in the open to my family right now.
Islam.
The whole purpose of us here today is to demonstrate to you all that you are the center. You are the center of a world mystery.
Islam.
Dr. Ben, all of our ancestors, all of our great teachers told you, we just demonstrated it. They told you about who you were.
That's right.
But there was only one man on the planet
Come on, Mo.
that told you exactly who you were. Nobody else did.
That's right.
We've already established the fact that black is an adjective that doesn't identify. Come on.
Come on, Mo.
Only one man on the planet to this day
What's his name?
connected you to a real nationality. And guess what?
What's his name?
It's acknowledged all over the world. Am I right, brother? It's acknowledged all over the world. The problem is that we're in so much of a small bubble, we're not connected to the outside world. We were just at the juice bar, right?
Yes, sir.
Just at the juice bar, I said, man, I haven't eaten anything all day. Let me get something in my body, right? And we're in line to pay, and there was a brother standing in front of us. And the brother turned around and looked at the Mufti, right? He said, my father had one of those.
Islam.
My father had one. And the brother said, yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Where you from? He said, I'm from Senegal.
Islam.
It gets better.
Come on.
Trust me. Who was there? Raise your hand. You're all there.
That's right.
He said, I'm from Senegal. He said, praise the Lord. And the brother said, yeah, I'm a Moorish American. I'm from here, but I'm descendant of Moroccans born in America. He said, really? He said, I'm Moor. The brother said, I'm Moor. And we were like, praise the Lord. Now the other brother, I said, brother, introduce yourself to your brother.
That's right.
And when he did, he kissed the brother's hand.
Islam.
No,
Islam.
we're only here to tell the truth.
That's right.
Only here to tell the truth. The brother in his first round talked about Taj Tariq Bey and what Taj Tariq Bey said, right? He talked about what a couple of other Moors said. He had the brother Dolo up there, right, on the screen, right? What's my name?
Sharif Aniel Bey.
What's my name?
Sharif Aniel Bey.
You ain't debating them dudes. You called me out. If you wanted to talk about what Taj Tariq Bey says, Islam to Taj Tariq Bey and respect to the brother. You want to talk about Taj Tariq Bey, you should have called him out. See, that's called the Kansas City Shuffle. That's what that is. It's the Kansas City Shuffle. The brother talked about the Nephilim. Who's heard of the Nephilim? Nephilim, right? The brother said that the Nephilim were mixed breeds between were mixed breeds between humans and Neanderthals. Question, did he substantiate that?
No, sir.
Right. He doesn't substantiate that. In an earlier interview, the brother said, I won't put it up, I don't need to put it up. The brother said that he put up a picture. Y'all know the picture.
Islam.
The picture of the dark, olive-toned Asiatics or African inhabitants of the Congo during the Belgian occupation.
Islam.
And some other brothers with fezzes on.
Islam.
And he knows, we're very visual people. very emotional people. So they show you the pictures with the pheasant. And automatically there's the whole association thing that happens. You know, the European does that to you with marketing. He shows you red sports car, shows you the blind European issue.
That's right. That's right.
Doesn't have to say anything. Automatically in your mind, especially if you're a male and over 50, you think, you know what, if I get the car, in other words, what does it do? It bypasses your logical thinking. It's slick. It's slick. But then he tells on himself. He says, I don't have a caption for the picture. Which means I don't really know who they are.
Irresponsible.
Then he says, but you see they have Turkish muskets and Turkish uniforms and Turkish equipment. The musket went out in the early 1800s. We know that the Belgian occupation took place around 1908. And then he said, well, we know the relationship between the Turks and the Moors. That the Turks helped the Moors. And no, he said the Turks helped the Moors to sack Timbuktu. That's what he said. Did we fact check him in the interview? Did we fact check him in the interview? Did we say, wait a minute, the Ottoman Empire
Islam
never went that far. Sorry, it never went that far. Why am I saying all of this again? You know, I don't have to address a lot of the scholarship or lack thereof. All I got to do is call attention to the psychology and the mindset. If the mindset is faulty,
come on, man.
What do you think about
Islam?
It's not responsible to put a picture in front of our people. This is what I said to them. It's not responsible to put a picture up and then openly say, well, I don't know who these people are. Well, since they got feathers on, I'm gonna let you think that they're more. That's disingenuous.
Islam.
That's not the type of thing you feed your children.
Right.
That's not the type of thing that your children will be successful in this world.
That's right.
It's just not true. What's happening? 2 minutes. Once again, I reiterate. Oh, he said we didn't use empirical sources. Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. All right, with the video, right? Where I said shalom to Gary Rosenberg. What is shalom? Peace. Is it a magic word that's going to cause rain, history, earthquakes?
No, sir.
Did I just give him some kind of extra power?
No,
like
sir.
Reading him with a reading in a language that he speaks?
No, sir.
See, the purpose of that was to try to brand me as some kind of race trick.
That's right.
That's what that was.
Prophecy.
But in this next round, you will see for yourself who actually does work in a service to humanity, and who just has something on paper that he wants to dance around with children. Peace.
We erase the Latin language and the term Moor. I want to know what language is Moor, what land is Moor, how are we all Moor? That's a good question. First and foremost, as I say, understanding of the system. Right? We said, let's be very specific. We don't say that we're Moors. We say we're descendants of them. We say we are Moorish Americans. We are an American society. We take part and participate in that society. We are Americans. We have just as much a right to be an American as anybody else. But we are Americans by way of Moorish ancestry, like the Chinese American is an American citizen by way of Chinese ancestry. Hold on. By way of Chinese ancestry. Right. There were a number, hold on. To answer your question, I'm going to use an example regarding the language. I know a whole bunch of Irish Americans that do not speak Gaelic. I know a whole bunch of Italian Americans that don't speak Italian. I know a whole bunch of Korean Americans that don't speak Korean. But here's the thing. When are they not Korean American? And does the ability or even the knowledge of the language disqualify them from being themselves. Now, I'm gonna ask the question again. Because see, Irish people, even if they don't speak Gaelic, they have a land they can refer back to their ancestry called Ireland.
Got it.
Whoa, Italian people come from Italy. Even if they're in America, they have land of their ancestry.
Yes, sir.
So if you're Moors, I want to know where the land of Moor is at. What language is Moor? So we can say that we are all descendants of Moorish Americans. Go ahead. What language is the word Moor? Thank you, bro. Well, first, I already dealt with the language issue. Let's talk about the land issue. Nationality, if you look at the definition, Black's Law Dictionary, 3rd edition, 4th edition, 2nd edition. Nationality is that quality of character that arises out of the fact that person belongs to a nation or a state. It says that nationality is used in lieu of territoriality because nationality does not require that you're in possession of a land mass. Now, let's talk about, hold on. Now, I'm not saying we don't, I thank you, brother, and I'm not saying that we don't attach or connect to a particular parcel of land, but now you need to be educated on the difference between political geography and natural geography. Here's your education. Here's your education. Let's go. There are Soviet Americans today, Soviet Americans that immigrated here from the Soviet Union, but no one can argue the fact that the Soviet Union no longer exists. Doesn't, but it doesn't negate the fact that they're Soviet Americans. Did a land name Moor ever exist? Absolutely. Mauritania. I mean, take your pick. Exactly. We're talking, hold on, we're talking 40,000 years of history. Names, nations, and people, nations change. Nations rise and fall, but people remain the same. There you go. Hey, we gotta take this picture.
Give it up for our brother Sharif, y'all.
The point of the matter is, we just can't just see something. Now, Moors, give me the original name of Moor. What is the original language? What land do you tie to? Because we're a multiplicity of people in Africa. There are many tribes that still are in tune with their ancient customs. Even if they come here, they know who they are. So the word Moor being Latin, okay, it had to come from an outside people that spoke a different language because we predate Latin. And we know that the time in the era of conquest and discovery.
Address for clarity purposes, all right? The first one is outline the blueprint for your plan. Outline the blueprint for your plan, if you can. The second one is provide examples, whether it's applied or theoretical, of the success rate and effectiveness of your plan. The third one is showcase why it's a more viable option than the other opponent that is presented. Those are the 3 major points that we would like them to address when they come up here to do their presentation. All right, fam? All right, everybody, yes? No? You there? All right, share it away. Right after that, we have what's called the crossfire round, right? Crossfire serves 3 important purposes in any debate. It gives one side the chance to clarify the arguments and evidence presented by the other. Secondly, it is an opportunity to demonstrate flaws in the opponent's arguments. And thirdly, crossfire is a time when the audience has a chance to see the debaters interact with each other. So when we do this crossfire round, after the second round, it's going to be dynamic, which means that I'm going to have them both here, and they're going to converse with one another. Can y'all fix the mic over there? Fix the mic? All right, so we're going to give them 10, 15 minutes for them to actually be here on the stage together with 2 mics and speak to one another. All right? Okay? All right. So with your family? You good? All right. All right. So without further ado, without
Hey. All right. And a whole bunch of other things you see it right here, right? Oh my goodness. All right. Here we go. This round we're talking about solutions. And like I said, we're gonna, I don't want to be condescending and say, oh, I want to help Brother Reggie out. But, and I'm not being condescending by saying that. We're really here for solutions. We're not here to do the whole tussle and the showmanship and all that nonsense. We all need a break, don't we? Yes. We need a break, don't we? Yes, sir. We need relief, don't we? There we go. All right. So, one of the things in the Brother Reggie's sovereign or Black City sovereignty plan is that one of the points, I studied the plan. I mean, obviously, if you have an adversary, what do?
Study.
You study your adversary. So in his plan, he speaks about sovereign immunity status and relates it to Native Americans, right? You know, how Native Americans have a sovereign immunity status, so to speak. Without going into any detail at this moment on that, has anybody show of hands been to a reservation? Okay. How many of the residents of the reservation really want to live on a reservation? Say that again? Okay. Our people are not semi-dependent wards of the U.S. government. A reservation is a legal designation for an area of land managed by a Native American tribe under the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs. This plan is not Reggie's plan, but the brainchild of Professor Patrick Dellis of Hunter College. Who knows the brother? Haitian brother, good brother. And to be honest with you, we actually kind of like the Black City Sovereignty Plan because we think in a general sense, it moves in a good direction. We're going to demonstrate. What Prophet Noble Ali did. See, one of the basic things that I give honors to the Black City Sovereignty Plan on is this. He talks about, our brother Reggie and Professor Dellis talks about, they use the term take over Black cities. Let's define what that means or what it should mean. What is a Black city? What's a Black city? Let me fast forward. No, I'm not gonna fast forward. We have to define what a Black city is. See, a lot of us live in the city. Let me explain some real history to you really quick. Civil rights era. What happened with Europeans? See, we say white means purity, purity means what? And God means ruler of the land. We don't call Europeans white. That is wild disrespect to ourselves and to our Creator. They are not pure.
Islam.
We don't call them white. Anyway, during the Civil Rights era, consciousness started to, come up with our people, and we began to become more active. But what do we mean by active? Raising our fists and talking loud and crazy? No. We became active socio-politically. As a result, Europeans did what? It's what they call white flight. They left the inner cities and took the money with them and moved to the suburbs. Am I right? Anybody here over 50 years and older knows exactly what I'm talking about. They took the money and themselves and moved out to the suburbs. Now, what that did was that it left the majority of us in the inner city. That is why to this day, the inner cities of the urban centers are disproportionately us. And suburbia is disproportionately them. But what do we see now? We call it the word gentrification, right? What are they doing? All over the country. See, a play is only secret when it's in the hub. When they run the play in front of you, it's no longer secret. Right? So what are they doing? Aggressively colonizing the urban center. And what are we doing? What are we doing? Let's be honest. We're family. We can be honest with ourselves. Like if I got bad breath, we're family. I want you to tell me. Don't talk about me afterwards and then smile at me. Tell me. You understand what I'm saying? So we can talk to each other like that. What are we doing when the Europeans coming in and taking over Harlem? Wow. Wrong? Do we even know how to take Harlem back? Yes, we do. Some of us. Hopefully we present that to you right now today. 1913, let's go over this real quick timeline. 1913, Prophet Noble Ali began organizing a Dickens barbershop, 181 Warren Street, downtown Newark, New Jersey. Now, anybody that knows a little bit of history, I don't have to educate you on all of that. You can do a timeline of 1913 and know what was going on in the world at that time. 1916, 3 years later, moves into a second-story location on the corner of 12th and Rutgers. Names of movement Moorish of national movement in North America, May 1st, 1925.
And the rebuttal reputation round is very interesting because I'm going to give each speaker an opportunity to address whatever information that the previous speaker put forth in his thesis, all right? Just so you guys know, a rebuttal is to rebut an argument is an attempt to discredit it by offering a completely different point of view. A refutation, on the other hand, to refute an argument is to produce evidence, facts, or figures to produce it or prove it untrue. So keep that in mind between rebuttal and refutation when both of these individuals are going back and forth. After that, we're going to have a quick break, about 30 minutes. How long is the break?
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
30 minutes. 30 minutes so you can patronize the vendors, so you guys get up and stretch before we get into the meat and potatoes, which is the second round. That's the one I'm excited for.
Read that when we come back. That's how you do that.
Oh, you want to wait for that?
Yeah, read that after the break.
So we'll do that. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to read the second part of the format after the break to get you guys engaged. But everybody's well aware of what we're dealing with, right? Subject matter, point system, thesis, introduction. You guys are aware of that, correct? Yes? All right. So with that, let's get ready to rumble. Y'all don't sound excited for that.
Yeah.
All right.
No matter what we believe or how we feel about it, no matter how we believe and no matter how we feel about it, right? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who is the author of Nationality in the context of your nation and our nation, we all part of the same nation, we just disagree. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, like many of our people, but he was declaring nationality. When he came back from his trip dealing with some other internal problems, he was arrested by the police, right? He has nationality, and you're his nation. He was arrested. He appeared before a lower court judge. I think Alan Payne basically represented him. And then after that, he was obviously beaten. And he came home and he unfortunately passed, and we lost a great man. How did nationality save the Prophet Noble Drew Ali?
Save him from what?
Nationality, having a nation.
That's not what nationality means.
Yeah, but having it doesn't.
Okay, I let you talk. First, and stay on the topic. See, first, before and while we're on the topic, did you all hear his question?
Yeah.
Basically, what he's talking about is, well, the prophet got arrested, beaten, and then later passed form, right? After being arrested, right? Okay. And so his question is, how did nationality help him? The false presumption in his questioning is that somehow nationality is some magic bullet that keeps you immune from going to jail, or immune from getting arrested, or immune from getting beat up and shot by police. That's a bunch of nonsense. So there's a flaw in the logic that formed his question. The most important part to address his answer, or to answer his question, is that the prophet was arrested for an issue that had nothing to do with him, and he beat the issue and was released 3 months later. That's the most important part of it. So, and the other part, in terms of nationality, again, addressing the brother's logic or illogic behind the question. Nationality determines political status. There's no such thing as an individual political status. So you can never think of nationality as, well, I have it all by myself. So what that is, that's a gang of one. How much power you have as a gang of one? Nationality is a group dynamic. See, we're talking about the language and we're talking about the mindset. We can talk unity, but every time he saw the brother over there and he says, you need to sit over there, as if we're divided. Are we divided? Are we divided? But the brother still in his mind believes so. So all of this questioning is based on division in his own mind. He still thinks like a European. He's still thinking like a European. So to answer the question, the benefit of nationality as it relates to that incident of the prophet being arrested is that he was released and was not. Let me ask the question again. Yes, you didn't answer the question.
You said when? I'm sorry, you said when did I come up with the plan?
When did you present the plan?
When did I present it?
In your presentation to present the plan.
Oh, okay.
Second question was, when did I ever mention in my presentation the plan, our plan, when did I ever mention religion or religious testing?
Okay. Well, the second part that I am going to answer is that you are a religious organization, aren't you?
And a civic organization.
Yeah, and a civic organization, but your charter is a religious organization. So if you're talking about the Moorish Science Temple or the Moorish Science Temple, you're talking about a religious organization, and there's many court cases where you went to court on using your so-called, you were being confused about religious and nationality status and went to court thinking that just because you could simply mention more, that somehow you got special rights. So just being a religious organization, talking to, for example, somebody like Oscar the Priest, right, is a problem in the United States. And here's the other thing is, Oscar the Priest and the other politicians didn't stop the police from arresting the Prophet Noble Ali. So that's a very interesting part. When did I present my case? I basically summarized it because there's a lot to cover. So I employ you to Google the Black City Plan, and you can read it for yourself because you yourself read my plan. Okay.
That was your answer? Okay. All right. Okay. What is your plan, brother? What's the plan? See, the reason why, and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or condescending of the brother, but you all saw my presentation. Yes, sir. Mine is on the ground. And I want to make a correction to you, brothers. This isn't the plan of Sharif and I obey. This isn't the plan of Ali's men. We're being obedient to our prophet. The prophet did it. We're just duplicating it. And the insinuation you made of, well, I don't know if it's going to go through Ali's plan. Maybe it was somebody, I put it right up there on the screen for everybody to see. I put a timeline up. And if anybody wants it, look over to alismen.com. I will send you the whole presentation, including the slides that I couldn't show because I didn't have the time. You want to see it for yourself, there it is. Truth needs no apology. But the point is that I put mine up. Mine for yours, brother, I'm still waiting. Ours is on the ground running. Yours is still on paper, if that alone, if that. I'm asking what the plan is. All right, family, this is the time where we take question and answers.
My question to you is, because you made a number of statements that I felt were unfortunate. So my first question in that vein is, don't you think, or don't you at least feel, that it was disingenuous and misleading to purport through your documentation the European Egyptologist who called her the female, I can't recall her last name, I'm familiar with some of her work. Don't you think it was misleading to perpetuate the fallacy that black in ancient Kemet meant death? And the reason that I ask you that is because I personally have read the complete corpus of ancient Kemetic eschatological literature. That means all of the literature that pertains to dealing with life after death, or the hereafter, as they would call it. And in none of the primary sources, none of the primary texts, is there any reference whatsoever to the term black denoting death. You, in that misleading diatribe that you imparted to the audience, you also invoked the name of a particular queen, a paramount queen, Queen Amosen Nefertari. And what you did was you used the documentation to make it appear as if it made her black skin color analogous with the skin color of Assad being black, and it all relating to death. The problem with that, like I had to debate a European yesterday on YouTube, and I had to embarrass her. I'm not trying to embarrass you in any way, form, or fashion at this point, but I will say to you what I said to her. If Amos Nefertari's skin, by virtue of it being black, denotes death, then you will have to explain to everyone in this audience why all of her depictions, while she is still alive, sitting next to her husband, brother, Amos the First, she is sitting there shown in her pitch black skin, while he is shown in his rustic brown skin. Both of them cannot have been dead at the same time, sitting on the throne, being rendered in that relief. That made your statement factually incorrect and what was the word that I really wanted to? It was inaccurate. I think it was disingenuous. The other part that was disingenuous, now I'm going to ask you is, the last second part, I'm going to let it go, is I personally found it insulting that you would use that documentation to make it appear as if the ancient Kemet II, or the people of ancient Kemet, or ancient Egypt, Tameri, painted the people of Ta-Nehisi, their ancestors, the Nubians, painted them black because black denoted chaos. What European rabbit did you pull that from? Because that has nothing to do whatsoever with the reality of ancient Kemet. And the fact that you can stand there and say that with a straight face, really, I find it insulting. That the term that they use for those people was Ta-Nehisi, or Ta-Seti, people of the land of the bow. That's it. Not Negro, they didn't even use the term black for them. In fact, they used the term black for themselves, Kemet II, not pertaining to the soil. And for you to stand there and perpetuate that white Eurocentric ideological definition for who and what we were, I found it to be disingenuous. I would like to know if you feel the same way, or do you think you did the best with what you had? But you did shine, and I want to say that. You shined.
Brother Sharif, I respect your questioning. I respect your spirit. No. I'm not. I'm going to say this. I'm not being, patronized by saying that. I respect your spirit and I respect your passion. Thank you, brother. So there was no, and I repeat, there was no intent of being disingenuous, being malicious, or being maligning of ancient Nile Valley culture or the people that brought it and presented it to the world. How can I be? And then at the same time say that our people are the direct descendants of those people. So that's not the case though. In presenting, now mind you, follow me, the difference between us in looking at that same literature from that system, the difference between us is just the utilization of different frames of thinking about the literature. That's false. Hold on.
That's false.
The point I'm making and the difference, I mentioned in my first round about Afrocentric thought being reactive. And it's a way, it's a view, it's a mindset, it's a worldview of how to view things. So is Moorish science. Her point in her literature that I presented was that the use of colors on certain key people was symbolic and not racial. Symbolic and not racial. There are times when Assad is painted green. Come on, I don't think he changed color.
Yes, sir. Come Come on.
You understand? It's symbolic. And so I'm approaching it from that perspective because that was the perspective that the author was approaching it from. All right, you good with that? All right.
What I would say to that, I appreciate your response, and I respect it. However, I respect the fact that you made it. The fact that you used her rationale does not, if you are on your scholarship as you claim to be, does not validate her rationale. I say that to say this, meaning that if she is incorrect, which she in fact was incorrect, if she is incorrect, by you articulating her view, what you did was you perpetuated a Eurocentric perspective as it pertains to how the ancient Kemet II represented themselves. Now, I'm not saying that they did not use color symbolic. There is no proof whatsoever from a primary text. And the reason why I'm addressing this is this is not aimed directly at your person. What it is to clarify something, because I don't want anyone here to be miseducated about something. Not the people in our Moorish family, not the people in our Kemetic family, or anybody that may not fall anywhere in between. The point that I'm making to you is that is a false premise that Sheikh Antioch addressed. If you read his work, African Origin of Civilization, it is a false premise that Dr. Ben, who you quoted, also addressed in his work, Africa, Mother of Western Civilization, that to say that the reason Asar, who was also coined, also addressed as the perfect black, the Eurocentric academic community has sought to alienate the term black from the people of ancient Kemet by making it relate to the soil, by making it relate to death, by making it relate to everything else other than what they racially were. That is the point, that is the salient point that I'm making. What you did was you used that literature to disenfranchise their race and claim it was symbolical when there is no evidence whatsoever in any primary source, text, or relief. And there is nothing you can do under the sun to change that. All of the applause from that side of the room cannot change that. I don't think that you did it on purpose. I think you went with scholarship that was available to you. But what I am saying for the sake of clarification is that it was incorrect scholarship, not substantiated by any academic evidence whatsoever. In other words, what you did was you took her word. You claimed that Reggie said things that he did not substantiate them. What text did she use to verify and substantiate what she said? You took it at face value. And that was irresponsible scholarship. That is the point I'm making.
Can I respond? I'll respond briefly. I'll be very brief because I know there's a lot of questions here. Again, what you said, and I respect it, it still doesn't address why different deities are portrayed in different colors at different times, specifically Osar, sometimes black, sometimes green. So now the question is, a rhetorical question, the question is, when were they talking about race and when were they being symbolic? Because he didn't switch colors. He didn't go from a so-called black man to a so-called green man. So when were they symbolic and when were they racial? Now, to address her, hey, I wasn't being disingenuous at all in presenting it. I simply presented it. She's a licensed Egyptologist. Now, to address the last thing, I'll be very brief. I did address European, Eurocentric imperialist plan to disenfranchise us from ancient Kemet. And that is the Hamitic hypothesis. We don't have to talk about the colors that the people are painted on. It didn't matter. What they did is they went a level below. You know, so movie Inception. They went a level below that and said, you know what, anybody that is not sub-Saharan African is a pastoral European or a Euro-African or a dark-skinned Caucasian. That's what they did. And that's all they had to do. And if we rocked with it, didn't matter if they painted them blue, pink, purple polka dots. They would rightfully say, like Mary Lefkowitz said, oh, you know what? It's not in Africa. Because as long as you all are playing by our tune and using our terminology that we invented to support white supremacy, which in this case specifically is the Hamitic hypothesis, no matter what you say, we have the final say because you're using our terminology.
All right, next question.
Peace, it's long.
Yes.
All right, this question is for Sharif Bey.
Yes.
We just touched the topic of Saul being the great man. And I could kind of correlate the connection between the black and the deaf, right? As the story of Saul, I cannot put this, he's the father of Heru who strives to become his father, right? So it kind of shows the symbolism of how life transpires. Then we have religions that worship dead gods, right? So we have a religion that chooses the god in the form of death, right, to worship. And this is a religion that knows Judaism, right? And so with the dead god, Christianity has the son to choose from. So what I'm trying to get at is this comparison, right, or this connection between Saul, right, and God, right? And so we worship the dead aspect of God. But Saul is green and black, and so the black would be maybe the dead aspect. But the green is the life, right? So God says, "Give life to all things." Mm-hmm. So my question is, why wouldn't black be the highest praise? Why wouldn't black be the place to worship if this is the place right before life comes? Why would it be that black is death? In those terms, if Saul is a great green black, green meaning life. Like the phase right before the black. Now, this is in terms of science. So this is my question. Why isn't black accepted if it's the form right before you give it life?
Beautiful question, brother, man. Hold on, I want you to say something. The light is kind of crazy. You have a green shirt on? Beautiful. Is that shirt your skin? Is that shirt your flesh? Will you have that same shirt on next week or tomorrow? Okay. So you wearing that shirt is a phase.
Islam.
And hold on. But the shirt is not you is the most important thing. The shirt is what you have on. The shirt is what you're going through. But it is not you. Black does not identify. It only hold on. I'm answering your question. Black doesn't identify. We don't vilify black. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you all hear us say black according to science means death, automatically what happens in our psyche, because we're so attached to identifying ourselves with an adjective for so long, that we think we're saying die. I want you dead. This is what's happening psychologically when you hear that phrase. That's why, you think we didn't go through it? Hold on. What we're doing is utilizing words in the proper context. That is it. I used this quote before in an interview with Simon. Malcolm X said, just because you put kittens in the oven, it doesn't make them biscuits. We want to use words in the proper context, brother. That's all. We honor the condition we're in. We honor, let me be very clear about it. Moorish Americans are taught to honor this condition of blackness because correct, green comes out of it. Regeneration in life comes out of it. We couldn't be destined to be the people we are destined to be without being in the condition of blackness. We know this, but you don't stay in the grave. That is why that green stands for the sprig of acacia that's put at the grave site, because it's the promise of resurrection. It's the promise of it. But you can't come out of the grave you didn't go in yet.
All right, what I want to recommend to y'all, family, is that Brother Dr. Ali Muhammad came 125th Street,
about 5 years ago, and he broke down the science of what is blackness. Y'all need to go back to that right there. Go view that video. Go view that video. Who got a question for Brother Rex? I would like to add, wait. So I would like to add to the question. Go ahead. Just a few seconds. Okay? So when you're looking at these texts, right, from ancient Kemet, you're looking at these texts. Each text is different when they are looking at Sur, right? And so some, unfortunately, Europeans will look at the Period Haru and see it as a funerary text. It is not a funerary text. There's no funerary role happening at that particular point, right? What it is resurrection. It is the deepest, darkest thoughts of what will happen next in their deepest sciences. So the opening of the mouth wand that you see, the Aziz, that's the Big Dipper. You see the calf leg that's open, that's another part. They talk about time, space, quantum physics, right? So the problem is that why can't me and you get together and work on trying to read our ancient culture together without the European filter?
Okay. The point I just made to your question, brother, and what he just made, I agree 100%, but what are we talking about now? Well, what you did is we took off the shirt and hung the shirt up and talked about the shirt. In other words, we stopped identifying ourselves with our circumstances. Let me repeat that. You are not your circumstances. Let's stop. Let's heal ourselves and stop repeating history and staying in the grave by confusing ourselves with our circumstances. What the brother just said is powerful. Let's sit down and reason together. That's what we're doing. And I agree with you, Brother Reggie. I agree with you. We should sit down and look at these things. There's tons of things that you can teach me about those texts. Tons of things. Tons of things you can teach me. And there are tons of things that we can share with you. One of those things in particular I just did. Do not confuse your condition or your circumstances with yourself. Just that simple.
Yes. This is to you. You mentioned pretty often that black men is God.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can't hear you.
We mention often that the black man is God.
Yes, sir.
The Asiatic black man.
Yes, sir.
Asiatic means black means not individual. And he have quote black, and he had also quote white, and he quote white to agree. Allow me. The word black is used in the Nation of Islam. It's an Asiatic black man. The word Asiatic means us. The word black, he has it in quotes. Also, he has the white man who makes so-called, he was made by Yaqub. He has it also in quotes. The point I'm making, he has also in that lesson nationality, meaning Asiatic. We have self-imposed definitions. How we see black, being the essence of ourselves. On the woman, bringing forth the seed from what? Triple darkness. That's fine. We have that knowledge. But legally speaking, I have to ask you, mine is the self-imposed definition. What is the first English dictionary in this country? And you should know it. We are common individuals. And we speak in the language of common people. So therefore, prior to that year, the Europeans spoke Latin. And English is not English. The Angles and the Saxons were Germans, were they not? Yes, sir. They were German tribes.
Yes, sir.
That was a lot to see in big. But what I want to ask you, in reference to that, bring it to the foundation, which is, what is the year of that dictionary? And define the word black, not based on a self-imposed definition, but based on the language that we use at this time.
Islam.
And you cannot find it. I have it at home. But if you don't have that at the time, your cell phone, pull it out, into the year 1828. I hope 1828 dictionary in Google and put a comma for the word black. You'll see what it means. I want you to find what it is based on, not how you see it, or as a God see, you'll understand. I wouldn't know by law what it is. Thank you.
Islam. I try to keep track of information. I also try to encourage myself of this slavery that we have, this mental slavery. I try to free my African mind. So I don't concern myself trying to put myself in a box of how Europeans define us, because it's strategically written how they define us. So we're problem solvers. And so to do a paradigm shift, you have to understand the rules that are in fact enslaving you, and you have to search for the new rules to shift. Thus we have the Prophet Noble Drew Ali at his time. He wasn't in the box. He took what he had and he moved, right? Elijah Muhammad, who they call the messenger of Allah, and we love him for his message to the black man. He changed the rules. Malcolm X changed the rules. Our job today is to change the rules and not to be defined by a box. And what the way that we do it is we try to find ourselves in history independent of these words. Again, like nationality. Nationality is not a word that was used in medieval Morocco. All they cared about was who's your God, what language you speak, what land do you come from, right? We can come back and use a word like nationalism and say that was the nationalism, but that's not necessarily the spirit of the people. The people were subjects of an empire, right? So to answer the second part of the question about black, isn't you should ask me about freedom. You should ask me about sovereignty. You should ask about total liberation for our people. Ask me about saving our children. I don't care what we call ourselves. It's like some people, if I say the word, I learned that from you. Say the word Jesus. Everybody know there ain't no word Jesus, right? Right, but I mean, you didn't say that, but you said that there was no J in that time. But we say, well, we'll look it up. Maybe me and you can share email and we can look it up. Because I think I have it, right? So I don't want to misquote you, but let me just talk to the audience and take it off of YouTube. We can deal with it. If I said the word Jesus, it resonates. If I say Yeshua, people will look at you like they don't know, right? They will look at you like you don't know. So at least we got a common thread because we study each other, right? Right? So the word black resonates with our people. It resonates with our movement. With our movement for self-determination. It doesn't necessarily resonate with your movement, but I put up a number of people up there, right? Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, right? Malcolm X, Khalid Muhammad, right? And other people, the Black Panther Party, resonates with our people. So let us define, let's all work on the problem from different points of view. Right? And whoever has the success for our people, that's a wonderful thing. That's all.
Thank you. I appreciate that, actually. You know, to be successful, we have to be results-oriented. Right? There's a statement when dealing with being results-oriented in science is this. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be true. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be true. What does that mean? That means that if it's true and it doesn't make sense to me, it's not because it's not true. It's because I don't understand it. But I don't have to understand it to follow. Dr. Cornell West said that in The Matrix, right? Comprehension is not a requisite for cooperation, right? Check this. How many years, and this is not a slight on our people for going this way, but it is very honest and sober. How many years have we tried or attempted or called ourselves self-identifying with the word black? Collectively. Now, are we any better today than we were back in the 60s? Are we any better today than we were back? And before, I'll just put this way. Our elders are right here. They can attest to this. When you were our age, wasn't home ownership a given for the most part with our people? I know it was with my father. How about people our age now and younger? We're doing much worse. We're doing much worse. Look at the condition of our families today, as opposed to in the 60s and in the 50s. We're doing much worse now. Here's an experiment, and I'll just throw it out there. It doesn't cost us anything. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb. Forgive me, family. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, listen, if we went out and gathered the names of people in our neighborhood and said, we're starting a civic engagement organization for the betterment of our people, socially and economically and politically. And all you gotta do is just say, I'm Moorish. Is your head gonna fall off? What if we all did that just in our collective neighborhoods for 3 months and just try this as an experiment? With people that know what they're doing with that situation. If you could have measurable progress in 3 months, would it, and as you said, if it doesn't matter what we're called, and I can show you in 3 months success, it shouldn't matter then. Correct?
Correct.
How many of y'all are willing to try the experiment? Let's see if you can put your money where your mouth is. Praise God.
All right, before the next question, I gotta say this real quick. And I'm gonna do my best not to offend nobody. But hey, I'm that fire sign. And I speak my damn mind. We gotta stop the foolishness, man. We gotta stop playing. If my Moorish brothers are talking about building unity, there's no way you're gonna stop the RBG from saying black power. How are we gonna come together? How are we gonna make that connection? Kwame Ture, black power. Kwame Ture, black power. See what I'm saying? We know that when you are representing black power, that white man is on your ass. Because you might not know what it means. It don't mean death to the white man. To the white man, he know we talking about black laws, black governments, black schools, taking care of our people, taking care of our children, standing up in the way of the goddamn bullets so them bullets won't be hitting our babies. That's what black power mean to us. Let's stop playing these damn games, man. That's what we gotta stop playing. We ain't talking about black as a damn nationality. We know black is not a nationality. That's not what black power means to us. We got the power to define, man. I keep telling you that, but you keep running to some white man's law dictionary. Right. You gotta get out of that foolishness. You gotta get out of that and come and unite with us as a people, because you are never gonna stop the general Sarasu Seti from saying black power. You damn sure not gonna stop Sarnetta from saying black power. I'm gonna say black power to the day I die. I'm gonna teach my babies about black power and what it means. So man, come on, man. We can accept you saying Islam. Hold on. I know y'all don't want to hear this talk. That's why some of the Moors getting up out of here. But we can accept Islam. When you say Islam, we say Islam, my brother. When the Hebrews come over and say shalom, we say shalom, my brother. God damn it, how come when we say black power to you, oh, you know, I ain't with that black stuff. I'm not with that black stuff, man. I told you before, black is color, culture, consciousness, and a corresponding cosmic connection to the natural universal law and order of things. I'm the first reflection of the cosmic order of the universe. Right. That's what black means to me. That's what black is to us. That's what I'm saying. So we got to stop playing the games, man. Let's stop.
Who got the next question?
Those who are not in the debate, stop debating. I've got a very simple, big question. And my brother Bay. Yes, sir. First of all, just the question on black people, got a long time arguing that. You know, 8th century Iraq, he's wrote a book, Spiritual of the Black Race over the White. But we still got to discuss that. That's my big question, because I don't fully understand. I think most people here don't fully understand. What is the meaning of the word Moor? Maybe that would help.
Yes, sir. There's a number, but it all depends on who you're asking. I wish I had the time. We had the time. I had it very. Yo, calm it down. Calm it down. Wind it down. I'll be very brief. I really wish we had the time to show it in my slides, right? One of the problems with the definitions is that especially the detractors will conveniently use the European and the Roman definitions and the Greek definitions when it's convenient, right? When it's convenient. You see, well, we don't have a lot of time, brother, and we'll address it. But the most important part, or to be very simple in my presentation, the most important part of the issue is that Dr. Ben and other scholars, our scholars themselves, said that we called ourselves this. We were not labeled this by Johnny come latelys. They later added their ideas. Chancellor Williams stated it. Dr. Ben stated it. I put the list up there. I put the quotes up there from. They both stated that later people reapportioned their own ideas to the name. The fact is that we call ourselves this. So it's not a label by a foreign people. Well, then you disagree with Dr. Ben. But that's it. I know we gotta go.
Blacks still control less than 2% of the world's resources. This is for both of them. How does both of your plans differentiate themselves from previous organizational plans that have failed in the past?
Beautiful. Good question. Well, I'll speak to my plan, or not even my plan. I'm sorry, actually, that's being disrespectful. What we presented, right? Everything starts local. And you're right, our people control less than that. Is very true. We are 98% consumers. How many familiar with Dr. Claude Anderson? Brilliant, brother. But here's the problem. He can construct brilliant socioeconomic and political, socioeconomic plans. But without two things, they will never work. It's just a machine that's not plugged into the system, or it's not plugged in to get any juice. You need love and unity to make any economic situation work. You need love and you need unity. Now I want to back up real quick. I'm going to say it again. We don't see ourselves any different than our brothers and sisters right here. We don't see ourselves any different. The plan, sister, it's on. It's on. We good, brother. It's on. It's on. Okay. Come on. Here's the difference. This was worked. The whole political issue, or the whole, garnering political power at the local level worked for our people prior to our profit. But it wasn't sustainable. We have the evidence of that. Black Wall Street, Rosewood, Wilmington, it worked, but it wasn't sustainable. As a matter of fact, Rosewood was destroyed in 1923. 5 years later, Prophet Noble Drew Ali did it.
Excuse me, come take it down, y'all. Y'all gotta take it down. He's talking.
Sorry. Prophet Noble Ali did it. And we have the historical record. He did it unmolested. This was during a time when if you voted, they hung you. They announced it at church they were going to hang you. And then they had all kinds of people out taking pictures. And they hung a sign on it that said, "This Negro voted." In 1928, and this is the fact. We're still, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mo. We as Moorish Americans are still trying to figure out everything Prophet Ali did and how he did it. The only way to do that is to follow the steps you know. I can't tell you 100% why he did it 5 years after Rome was destroyed and was totally unmolested. Nobody got lynched in Chicago. Nobody got lynched in Detroit over this whole thing. And it was successful. You see what I'm saying? So I can't tell you 100% why, but I can, as a scientist, look at all the cases and see the difference. The difference prior to him, number one, nationality. That's just a fact. Two, was segregation and Jim Crowism that forced our people together. We destroyed Black Wall Street. Europeans didn't destroy it. We destroyed Black Wall Street with integration. We rebuilt Black Wall Street in 4 years. Better than before. Thank you.
Question for Brother Reggie. I have a father and a mother, right? And my mother comes from the Puerto Rican side. My father comes from the Barbados side, right? But I have a fence on, and I claim myself as being a Moorish American. That's my natural right. Because I feel the spirit from what Prophet Noble brought. So I just wanted to ask you, what was your mother and father nationality? Real quick, and then I have another one. I just want to know, what was your mother and father nationality? Because whatever your mother and father nationality was, that's your nationality, but you have a right by getting older. You don't have to claim that, but you came Black. I just want to know, what was your mother and father nationality?
On the death certificate of our prophet, Noble Ali, to be upon him, if you've ever seen his death certificate, it says that he is a Black American. It may have been corrected, but at the time, it said it was a Black American, right? We are in this country, this nation, against our will, right? So the fact of the matter is that until we figure it out, right? And we are working to figure it out because this place needs Africa and it needs the rest of the world to survive, right? So when we get our stuff together, it makes more sense for us to get the hell out of it. About my parents, I was born in Newport News, Virginia. I was born in the same place as Thomas Drew was in Virginia. You know who Thomas Drew is, or who they say Thomas Drew is, Timothy Drew, right, is the prophet, right? I was born in Virginia. My father was born in North Carolina, right? Nationality meant nothing to my parents in the segregated South. It meant nothing, right? We were subjugated to the European, right? My family, being Virginian, right? If you know anything about the brown paper bag test and things like that, it was a nesting ground for our people who decided if we married lighter, we would get better opportunities, right? Even you look at someone like Dr. Leonard Jeffries, right? His family, right? His family is from the same place, Farmersville, Virginia, right? He came out dark, I came out light. Why you asking me that question? I don't understand why it has any.
I asked you that question because I'm saying I'm a Moorish American Muslim. That's my choice. You understand what I'm saying? Just like your choice is say you Black. You feel me? But it shouldn't be no type of, you know what I'm saying, conflict of interest because we're all the same thing.
That's right.
And on top of that, Black. When I look at Black, I had a Black dog. That dog was Black. You understand what I'm saying?
You had a Black dog.
I had a Black dog.
What does that?
Now, I'm just saying because no, I'm just saying something. I'm just trying to say something. Your complexion, you don't look like you Black. You understand what I'm saying? You look like you yellow from something else. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I was asking what was your nationality, your mother, your father. You know what I'm saying? Now just one more thing. You know what I'm saying? RBG, right? That means red, black, and green, right? So RBG means red, black, and green?
Yes.
And who's the man that brought the red, black, and green here to America? Marcus Garvey, right? And did Marcus Garvey have a nationality? Did Marcus Garvey have a nationality? Yes or no? Brother Reggie. Did Marcus Garvey have a nationality?
I'm not going to answer. What I'm going to say is that whenever he calls
did Marcus Garvey call himself black?
It does not matter. So here's the thing, boy. See, here's the thing, Brother Sharif. At the end of the day, you have a side and I have a side. You have your people here, I have my people here, right? These little things about black dogs and things like that, right? It inflames us. It has no bearing on a conversation amongst men about real things. When can we get past, we've already had the debate. When can we get past that? It's not like, so my whole point of it is, don't look at my skin color, look at my heart. I'm a black nationalist freedom fighter.
There you go. All right. Earlier when we came in here, I told you that if it get too hot for you, what did I say? Make sure you bring your damn tissue with you. Because if you wear your emotions on your sleeve, it's not our fault, black man. The only one I see getting emotional is the brothers on this side. It's the Moorish brothers. You don't see us getting crazy. Come on, man, we got heart of stone. Our heart is stone. We got tough skin. We're not screaming and shouting out. Calm down. It's wrong. That ain't scaring nobody in here. Calm down. Can I ask my question? Going over here.
Please. So, Brother Reggie, first of all, Reggie, brother, Black Power, brother. All right? Like Sanetta told us, Khalid told us that black means color, culture, consciousness, and the corresponding cosmic connection. The universe is black. Dark matter, all right? Everything is black. Now, I can say I am 6 feet tall, and I can qualify that. I am a measurement. I can say I am intelligent. I am, and I can qualify that. I can say I am hungry. I can qualify that. Can anybody say I am black and qualify that without creating some off definition of black? Nobody here is black. Also, my other question with that is, Reggie Marbury, where did you get the name Marbury? And your plan for liberation for so-called black people, how does your plan resolve the issue? I'm getting to it. How does your plan resolve the issue that for your entire life, you've made contractual agreements that you agreed to be property of European families and their associates? How does your plan resolve that issue? In conjunction with identifying and saying that I am black in a political construct, we know that we're not black. We know that this is our collective thing, but how does your plan address those issues?
Reggie, you got a minute to answer that so I can get through this. The next time I ask questions, y'all gotta just ask your questions so we can move forward.
Simple. In the walls and temples of ancient Kemet, and you can go there, they say who they are. They show themselves as Kemet and Kemetu by a piece of charcoal to designate either it's charcoal or it's a black skin. And they call themselves black, right? And it's as simple as day. So you're doing acronisms again. You're trying to play with chronology. When it's simple, all you need to do is go by Kemet. Now, it don't matter what you call yourself. You can call yourself Babe, El, you can call yourself Muhammad. When this man comes for you, right, he's gonna, it don't matter what you call yourself, you're gonna get a number. So there ain't nobody, let's not play those contractual games and stuff like that. You ain't
ain't no free man in this place. This is a concentration camp. And if you think so, you out of your mind, bro. You out.
All right, peace. I was next.
How do you resolve the fact that you want the whole
Peace, Islam, greetings. Brother Reggie, this question is for you. All right, everybody knows the Europeans did not invent language, right? So now when they say the word black, right, and the power and the resonance and the vibration of the word exactly does not represent the people, why do people continue knowing the science of word, sound, and power to choose to identify themselves with a word called black, which we know has nothing but negative connotations except for the definitions that people make up in their own minds?
Listen, that's why we have these days that we understand each other more. I would like to call myself Kim, right? I would like to say that I'm Kemet, right? Our people just not ready for that, so we have to increase the we just have to increase the information. So when I call myself Kim, it resonates to the rest of the people. We're not there. I'm here we are here to continuously educate people so that we can move back into a language which we completely understand. But what language? What's your choice? Simply Arabic? See, we have a whole continent of African languages, right? You will confine yourself to English or Latin or whatever. You have to, so my point about it is, I'm not trapped in my mind, right, about liberation. I know that if not me, my children's children will speak another language. So I'm not confined to that.
So, right, peace, family. In the spirit of the ancestors, I just want to say that we thank everybody for coming out, and that you know, we're going to get better. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to get better. But the question that I have for both of you, right? You both did an excellent job, you know, and thank you for giving us information. The question I have for both of you is that in light of the fact that we have observed if you want to use the term races of people, all right, just to talk about it, Europeans, Arabs, whatever. In light of the fact that we have seen them attack people like us for so long and successfully implement their agendas, specifically, what in your specific plans do you see that is an absolute or possible absolute change agent to overcome the conditions of the conquering of our people, whether it was 5,000 years ago or 5 years ago? What in your plan do you see as a chess piece that you feel that can undo that constant conquering of our people?
I appreciate that question. 1 minute to answer it. Yes, sir. You know, regardless, and I said it before, I've said it many times, regardless of what we call ourselves, solution, we have to be solution oriented. If the solution that we provide gives us, or if the plan we provide gives us solutions and it gives us progress, it just makes sense to rock with. That's all. I presented it earlier. I did present it earlier, yes. Now, to answer your point, to answer your question specifically, brother, I showed via history and I spoke via history that the #1 game, the only game, according to science, to change the social condition of a people is to engage in the political process in this country and in this society where we find ourselves. We are not playing the game. This is the problem. If we play the game properly, if we learn how to play the game and play the game properly, we can change our condition almost overnight. The reason why it doesn't happen is because we say the word love, we say the word unite, but we don't do it. And I'm going to tell you, our plan and the way the Prophet Noble Drew Ali worked it in 1928 did not require you to have a fez or a turban on. It just so happened that the people running the plan did. It didn't require you to call yourself a Moorish American or to say that you were a Muslim. It just so happened that the people that were serving and uplifting and improving the conditions of all of us did. Thank you.
I'll be real quick.
1 minute.
I'll be real quick.
in this room, we have some of the best and brightest minds. We have our elders, Dr. Leonard Jeffries and Professor Small, right? We have elders from the Moors, and then we have people like Dr. Ali Muhammad, right? You ask a good question, give a good answer or something to think about, right? The change factor is each and every one of us, right? We are quantum physics in body, right? If we push hard enough and we discipline, we'll find it. We may not have the answer now, but some people say, are we better off or worse off than we are now? We're a whole lot smarter. Since the European is much, he's tracking us, right? So the answer is how much do each and every one of us want freedom, not for ourselves, but for our children, right? And so I listen to all of you. Definitely listen to Dr. Ali Muhammad, Brother Polite, and others. I listen for the future because I'm 51 years old. I know I never thought, they knew me when I was 18, 19, 20. I never thought that I was going to be 51. Now I'm more of an elder. The future doesn't lie with me. Maybe Sharif might be your elder. It lies with the youth, right? That we have to teach. So that brother right there, Marcus, that's a change right there. Right?
All right, Brother Red Pill, please just ask a question.
By a show of hands, how many people who showed up today learned something? Mission accomplished. Now, on the follow-up, because there's always talk about what we're gonna do. Come out to the debates, and then afterwards, we're gonna get together, right? Ali Muhammad, how many debates you had before? Out of the people that you debated, how many people did we see you come together and work with on the same stages that you debated them on?
My man.
All right.
No, ask the question.
I want to know from both of you brothers who got plans. What are your plans on coming together? Because I appreciate what y'all did today, but the way that it can be played by people who can manipulate is to bring us further apart. So what are you gonna do responsibly to come together? Because I spent my time, right, in this building. I brought my son, I brought my family with me. I'm holding you responsible, I'm holding you responsible, I'm holding you responsible, and I'm holding all of us responsible to come together and do what you said you can do. So what is the plan?
Thank you, brother. I'll be very brief. What we're doing in Syracuse, New York, my brothers, my humble brothers and other comrades, what we're doing in Syracuse, New York is very, very real. It's on the ground and it's benefiting hundreds of our people as we speak. We can turnkey what we're doing and bring it right to New York City in a matter of days. We would love and we would be honored to serve and soldier with you all in the streets because politics starts at the ground level. We went door to door, face to face and met our people. We would be honored to soldier with you all and do this and duplicate our success in New York City, in New Jersey, in Philadelphia, wherever our people all will go. And we ain't asking for no money. We do this on our own dime. Am I right, Mose? We do this on our own dime. Peace.
I will continue to work and write my plan and consult with my elders so I can have a published document and then we can compare notes. I don't have, again, if you listen to my Black City Sovereignty plan, I don't care if a Moor is in office. I don't care if he's in office. I don't care if a Hebrew is in office. I don't care, as long as they're doing it for our people. So I came together just to challenge you on some ideas, but to show peace, love, and friendship and respect it. You can't say I did not, right? We have our differences. We have these differences that we have to work out, right? There are things that you say to us that offends us. And there's things that we say to you that don't make no sense. And then we get something like a black dog. We've been talking about building families, right? So we have to cure. You say you are Moors, and we say we are Africans. When are we going to cure that sickness in us, right?
All right, come on, we're going to go to the next question. Can I say something really quick? With all due respect, brother,
with all due respect, right? We got to put the crutches down. We got to put the excuses down. I'm telling you, we have something on the ground running right now. I need you all. We got the sign-in sheets. I need names and addresses and emails. And we will put you on. We will be here to organize. We will hit the hood and we will organize, mobilize, and politicize. And you can watch it happen right before your eyes. It won't take years. It'll take weeks. We're willing to do it.
Give them an email, God, where everybody should sign up to. Give them an email where everybody can send their information to.
Yes, sir.
And we'll get them sheets right out.
We got it popping right now in Long Island. That brother right there. That brother right there, Rashamed Ali Ill, a.k.a. MC Nat Turner, is getting it popping right now. Operation Proclamation, Long Island, Freeport. We can get it done right now. See, this is the time where the rubber meets the road. You put your money where your mouth is. All right? I'll give the email. I'm sorry, brother.
Last year, at this time, we called for a unity rally. We had the Muslims with us. We had the brothers that was with ancient Kemet with us. I gave a call out for us to meet up here and to take a unity rally picture. We called out the Moors. We called out the Nation of Islam. They showed up. We called the Muslim brothers. Some of them showed up. We called the red, black, and green brothers. They showed up. But the excuse for the Moors was they with that red, black, and green stuff, and we don't want to get caught in the picture in case y'all put black power on the picture. Brother, hold on. We can talk that sweet shit up here all we want to. But when it was time for us to come together, when we made that damn call, nobody showed up. Come on, man, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. No goddamn, listen. I keep it real all the goddamn time. And now some of you feelings is getting hurt. Because of that. You sound like a fool, man. You sound like a fool. You sound like a fool. Why? You can't take the truth? You can't take the truth? Come on, man. You can't take the truth? We get up here and we talk all this sweet stuff all the time. But when it's really time to come together, we don't come together. When this is over, let's come together for real. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, man.
Islam, Lord, Islam. Lord, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, Lord. Regardless, Lord. Islam, Islam, Islam.
We good.
All right, family, we're about to close out right now. Okay, wait, hold on. Peace. I got you. All right, family. Everybody calm down. Got you. Family, everybody calm down. We're gonna end off on a positive note.
Please mention that was being very disrespectful at that rally to the Moors.
All right, so family, I got you. So family, thank you everybody for coming out to this debate. It's about 10:30 right now. Please patronize the vendors before you walk out. We're not going to end off. Okay. Hold on. All right. This is nothing. Stop banging that. All right. Gotcha. So what I'm saying is, as you can see, we are still positively interacting. All right. So we're not going to leave off on a positive note, but at the same time, hold on. Come on. Chill. All right. Family, we got women and children here. Family, come on. We got women and children here. Pay attention, family. Y'all don't care about the women and children? Come on, man.
Guys, cut it out. Guys, this is not blood and tips, so please. This is embarrassing. Everybody, if you can't control your temper, go sit in your kids' corner. Let's go inside.
Look, everybody cut out the bullshit. All right? All right, yo, come on, man. Calm down. Calm down. Come on. Yo. Come on. Islam. Peace of the gods. Peace of the gods. Yo, we're master headpieces. The Prophet never told you will never love this, Mo. We have to love and not hate. Islam, Mo.
How we gonna keep unity if we have a destruction here? Do we want unity?
Take the mic.
Do we want unity? Yes. So what are we doing here? We doing what the Europeans want us to do. Fight each other. You must come together as one and be one. We got communities, man. Come on, we gotta do it. Come on, we gotta stop this right here and right now. So I wanna know if y'all love each other. Do we love each other? Do we love each other? Are we brothers? I wanna hear you, are we brothers? Let me hear y'all.
Come on. Show up, Mo. Show up.
It's already out. Yes, sir.
Islam, faith, unity, Mo. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. If we have unity hand on that now, that wasn't stop my son. Ain't that right, Mo?
Brother, can you stop this?
On that now, but two hands show. Islam.